What is going on? Rising above. We are back live on the podcast. Today, I have my two friends with me, Justin and Zorro, and we're both or all exhausted. We just did the full Rising Above experience, which consisted of cold plunging, lifting for an hour, and or steam room and then sauna. So we're all dead.
Quite
But
intense.
with that being said, welcome to the podcast, guys. How you guys doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for having me.
I'm well.
Absolutely. Zorro, this is your second time being back on the podcast.
It is. It is. It was quite an experience last time. It was a lot of fun to actually put myself out there a little bit, and I've never actually been on like some kind of stage that way, but it was fun to do it. I felt comfortable and fun.
Well, you're a natural at it. I mean, we discuss things all day long at work, and it's so like the kind of conversations that we have at work is pretty common for the kind of conversations you would have on a podcast. And we've talked about that many times. Like, dude, if we just recorded these conversations, this would be like an amazing podcast.
We would have to wear mics, man, all day long.
Yeah, I'm not sure that GM would appreciate that, but
they don't gotta know.
But the kind of topics that we cover is kind of, that's what people are interested in.
True.
So yeah, when you were on the last time, I was like, wow, he's kind of a natural at this.
Thanks.
Talk a lot.
Well, last time I was on this, I didn't really I didn't have the mentality that I had before. We were talking to Sarge last time, and Sarge was all about we were talking about fitness and stuff like that, and things that I was kind of like basically getting myself into and whatnot. But this time I feel like I'm a little bit more prepared about that kind of stuff. So
yeah, I think, well, for one, that episode hasn't been released yet.
Right.
It'll be out soon. But it'll be interesting for people that are listening to this. They'll go back and listen to that one, or maybe they will, maybe they won't.
Up to them.
And it'll be interesting to see the difference in the mindset.
I'll say it's a curse and a blessing working next to Zorro because there's so much to talk about. But most of the time, buddy, I'm just tired and I just don't feel like talking some of the topics you bring up, or I don't know. But I mean, like I said, curse and a blessing.
Yeah, I mean, like the kind of topics that Zorro gets into are a lot of conspiracies.
Yeah.
So you either have to be in the know with it, otherwise you don't really appreciate it as much.
Yeah, I mean, they're great topics. It's just I would rather sit down and be able to focus and have a back and forth conversation rather than, 30-second break, you talk for a minute, go 30-second break because we got to go to the next car.
Right.
So it's not a continuous conversation. Then I don't know, it just doesn't flow very well.
Sometimes I feel a little bit different about that. I feel like with that extra like 5, 7, 8 seconds, whatever it is in between the cars that we have to work with, I get a little bit of time to think about, what it is that I want to say next sometimes. But you're right. Like, I mean, continuous flow conversation is very beneficial whenever you're actually talking to someone, obviously,
Yeah, I think I have to agree with Zorro on that because like especially like doing a podcast, sometimes you have to formulate your thoughts instantaneously. Like you say something, then I got to say something. You say something, I got to say. It's like this game back and forth. But if you're like, you have like the 30 seconds or whatever it is in between each car, not really 30 seconds, but you have that time frame in between each car. It allows you time to formulate your thoughts a little bit and then come back to the conversation, be like, oh yeah, and
right.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, but that cold plunge, man, something else, dude.
Yeah.
Something else.
So everybody that I talked to, even Justin's like, I could do the cold plunge. Well, that was proof today that he could not do the cold plunge.
I call you out, buddy.
Drop the ball. I did a valid effort. So
listen, it was a whole different experience. I'm not gonna lie to you. Whenever I got into the shower to rinse off before we went in there, I threw that water as cold as I could, just so that I can mentally prepare myself a little bit.
I do the same thing.
Yeah, I think it helps.
Yeah, it does.
Honestly. And then whenever you were like, you just got to throw yourself in there, I was like, okay, I'm just went straight in there, and I was dying.
When you fully engulf yourself in the water, where you dunk down, your head's under the water, and then you come back up. When you get your head wet, it makes the whole thing easier because that's where a lot of your I mean, literally your brain's going into shock when as soon as you hit that cold water, your brain's going into shock. But if you can put your whole body in there, then it's like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing.
Right.
I understand. Yeah, I was surprised, Zorro. I thought for sure Zorro would have. He did a lot better than I thought. I'll say that.
Dude,
what's up, Dan?
I surprised myself.
Dan's commenting. What's up, buddy?
Hey there.
He said he loves the conspiracies.
Cool.
Welcome, Dan. See you on Monday.
Yeah, man. But I think that if I was telling Justin, because and you would like to say this a lot too, when it comes down to the cold plunge, it is a big mental thing. And I was telling him, I guess when you run 26 miles, and I'm not saying that that's exactly what it is. I run a lot. And I think that when you're a runner, you're in your head a lot as it is. And so you're fighting your own battles the entire time as you're going along. And as you're going, and while I was in there, I was fighting myself like continuously, because it took everything in me to not want to jump out of there. I'm not going to lie to you. But it just kind of, I feel like I kind of have a little bit of training when it comes down to just like fighting that
goes to what I was saying at the end. When you get in, like, you could be the strongest person, but if you don't have because it doesn't take physical strength to get into the cold plunge. It's all mental strength.
Right.
And it takes mental strength to stay in there. I think the reason why you struggled with it so much, Justin, and we mentioned this, is because you have like no body fat, and that cold hitting your bones is brittle.
Oh yeah. I mean, I mentioned this earlier as well, but I literally felt like my legs were getting chopped off in there. So it was tough. I thought I could just get in there. I'm mentally strong, but that's just it's a different experience. If you've never done it before, I was proven wrong. So
I remember when I first started cold plunging, I built my own cold plunge, and then I started doing it for 5 minutes every single day at 39 degrees.
It's insane.
And which is an insane amount of time to do it. I don't know why I did it that long, because you don't really need to. 3 minutes is suffice. But one thing I realized, because it was like wintertime, and one of the things I hate the most is that long walk from the parking lot into work every single day. It literally, I think that part of the day literally makes everybody angry, because you just have that brittle, cold air just hitting your face, and it just kind of puts everybody in a mood.
You mean walking into work?
Yes.
Oh, it's horrible.
And one thing I realized is when I was cold plunging every morning in the wintertime before work, and then I'd walk in, I'm like, I feel happy. Like, that cold weather out there is nothing compared to the cold plunge.
Yeah, that's a definite, like,
it changes the way you think, the way you look at the day.
Exactly.
As a whole. And then you realize too that that's the hardest thing you're going to do all day long. And so everything else from there is just nonsense.
I agree. I don't mind the walk in, actually. Let me take that back. If it's raining or cold, super cold weather, we're talking like negative degrees, then that's when it's like, okay, this is a lot to walk in. But I mean, I'm the same way mentally. It's just like a 3-minute walk, 4-minute walk, whatever. Just tough it out, get in there. You'll be fine once you walk through the doors.
Yeah, for sure.
So same thing with the cold plunge, to a much different extreme, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
I've actually measured how long our walk is into the building. I think it's like 0.75 miles to get to our station now that you work in a different area. But but 0.5 of that is walking in that, intense cold weather for that little bit or whatever, and it sucks. It does.
Yeah, it does.
And like you said, if you're doing something like the cold plunge before that, you're mentally preparing yourself for something even worse. That's not going to bother you as much already.
Right. Yeah, it changes the way you just look at things, your outlook on things in general.
Right. Definitely. Yeah, and that workout was pretty nice. I enjoyed it. It was fun to see you guys in a different area. We always work out at work, and we've done that lots of times. But the MAC, shout out to the MAC. They do a wondrous job with their environment and everything that they got going on, because they're top of the line.
It's an amazing facility. I remember, like, I'm like, man, I don't think I could ever afford a membership at the MAC. And then I got it, and I'm like, I don't know how anybody doesn't go to the MAC, because having the cold plunge, and we've talked about this before, but I had leg injuries, and the way I recovered from that was right when I got the membership at the MAC, and I started cold plunging and lifting and doing the steam room and sauna every single day. And just that process allowed my legs to heal within like a couple weeks. It was like a couple months of me not being able to squat any weight at all, even body weight. I couldn't even squat my body weight. And I don't even know what the issue was. It was both of my knees. And then I started doing that process after I got the membership. And within, I'd say, like 2 months, I was able to get back into body weight stuff and slowly ease into it. And then I was able to do weight, and now I can squat heavy and have no problem.
Right. It was pretty bad for you, because I remember you walking backwards, because in the area that we were working at, we walked backwards with the car, and you would always be like, man, this hurts. I don't understand why it's hurting my knees.
Yeah.
I would say the same thing. I mean, just my legs were sore going into the cold plunge. Yeah. I mean, getting out of it was brutal. But you know, my legs were much better off. I feel like it didn't feel like they were fully healed, but it definitely felt like there was a difference from before when I got in the cold plunge, even if it was only for 30 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, like I had said before too, like even if you do 30 seconds in the cold plunge and then get out, it's still better than nothing.
Mhm.
You just got to acclimate yourself to it over time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Zorro, so you had mentioned kind of when you were on the podcast before that your mentality is different, but you had started doing 75 hard and well, I should kind of preface that you've always kind of been like always been a runner for a while now. And so you've kind of lived that lifestyle, but you decided to do 75 hard, and I could see how it changed your mental state, the way your outlook on health and fitness, and it obviously changed even your body, I've noticed. And so kind of tell us about that process and the impact of that.
Sure, sure. Well, see, I don't think that I've always had all the same things that 75 hard has to offer, or the things that you actually have to do to
Real quick, why don't you explain what 75 hour is for people that don't know?
Right, right. That's
Real
actually a
quick.
good point. Yeah, for those that don't know what 75
I'm sorry,
hard
Justin, you
is.
go ahead, take over the. No, I'm just kidding.
For those that don't know, 75 hard is, and it says it in his in a lot of explanations, that it's not a fitness challenge. And he's right, it's really not a fitness challenge. It's actually more of a change your habit kind of challenge. I would consider it after doing it, and honestly, I didn't finish it. I'm not gonna lie, full disclaimer. I went 34 days and I failed.
It was only 34.
It was only 34 days. Yeah.
Wow.
So I was on day 34 and I had done all my stuff that I was supposed to do for that day, except it was a very busy day. We were at a home and we had things going on outside of the house, inside the house. The kids were, there was a lot of activities going on and whatnot. And I thought that I had gotten everything done. Oh, I had gone out on a date with my wife at that time, which, by the way, hi sweetheart, I love you. We had gone on a date, and when I came back, I had done my inside workouts and I had done my run right before the date. And then after that, when I was done, I was like just exhausted to the point beyond exhaustion. And I had completely forgot to read my 10 pages, because in 75 hard, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to drink a gallon of water a day. You're supposed to do 2 workouts, one inside, one outside. Both have to be minimum of 45 minutes. And it can't just be like some activity that you do. It has to have an intent and purpose of actually being part of like working out / fitness kind of perspective. On top of that, you have to read 10 pages from a self-improvement / motivational book. You must take a selfie every single day, and you're supposed to post it on social media. But you and I discussed this part at one point. I don't think it's necessary to post that every single day. I think that as long as you're taking one picture every week, it's okay to do that. And then at the end, I would have posted like my beginning picture and then the end picture. And which I probably still could do that, and there would be a huge, difference in what it looks like at this point, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's not even any of that you just mentioned is not even the most difficult part, and I think the most difficult part is the dieting. Because did you not have a strict diet with that as well?
Yeah, that's another part of it.
That was one of the biggest things I remember talking to you about when you first started 75 hard, because you had to focus on your diet, and then you were kind of telling me like how you ate prior. And I was like, dang, I didn't realize you ate that bad.
It was horrible.
Yeah, I was same thing.
Yeah,
I was like,
horrible.
wow.
You would think that as a runner, I would be more self-conscious of what it is that I eat, right? But like, I think that that's a big misconception when it comes down to runners, because runners, I feel like we can just eat whatever the hell we want because we're running.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But in the end, it doesn't really matter, because it matters a lot, as to what it is that you eat, because your performance is based off of your nutrition a lot of times, and I've noticed that hugely now, but yeah, so the diet that I chose to do was the Mediterranean diet. It involves eating a lot of whole foods, a lot of vegetables, a lot of fruits and proteins and stuff like that. It's not something that is for the faint of heart, because honestly, if you're not willing to try to give up all the extra sugar and to give up, all the extra processed foods and stuff like that, it's not an easy diet to do. But results, they're there for sure, as long as you can stick to it. That's one thing that I did keep going with as far as the 75 hard thing goes. I kept on with the diet, and I'm not going to say that I was 100% with it afterwards. I'm going to say that I was at least 90 to 95%. There's going to be those days that you end up,
little cheat days.
Yeah, you know, there's going to be those days that you want something sweet, something to treat yourself for such, you know, for doing such a great job. And there's a couple influencers that I follow that, you know, they'll tell you, you know, as long as you're eating, you know, 90% of the time at a good, you know, a healthy diet, then 10% of the time is not going to hurt you as bad, you know.
Right.
I'm sorry. And but yeah, and overall the experience changed my entire perspective as far as like what health and fitness is supposed to be. I think that I definitely think more than once before I decide to eat something. Like earlier when we were looking at the smoothies or whatever, I was looking at all the ingredients as to what it was, and I would see all these things that sound delicious, but I knew what I needed at that moment to benefit myself versus after that workout that we did, you know, just so that I can make sure that my nutrition level is up afterwards, you know.
Yeah.
As far as like working out goes, I still do that. I work out probably about 4 to 5 times a week. I'm not doing as intense of workouts because I am in marathon training. For those that don't know, I am running the Houston Marathon in January, and it's
So
kind
the
of
20,
hard.
25 weeks or 15 weeks?
It's a total of 16 weeks.
16 weeks.
Yeah, I'm in week 14. I'm sorry, no, I have about 13 to 14 weeks to go. I'm in between 13 and 14 at this point. Yeah, it's gonna be it's a challenge to be able to still eat the way that I want to eat and run that way, but at the same time, I don't see as much of a issue with it because I think that vegetables and fruits go a long way when it comes down to carbohydrates, you know, and I think that it's helping me be a better runner overall. So yeah, the experience was great.
I know that one thing that you have been doing is lifting weights a lot more. And one thing that when I was in marathon training, I felt that it was hard to maintain muscle. I mean, I could still lift and I could still lift heavy, but I wasn't able to lift as heavy, and I leaned up a lot. Is that something that you're noticing?
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't see the bulk come in as much as it was originally. Like I can see my fitness maintaining, if you will. Like the muscle mass is staying where it's been. I haven't really been able to, you know, get bigger, but I definitely am getting a little bit stronger, but not as fast as I was originally. You know, because I think if I remember correctly, my max bench at one point was probably about 90 pounds, which is ridiculous. But then it went up to 160, and then after that, I tried to do the one. I've been, I think it's been a month and a half or a month and a week since I did that, and I didn't improve as much. And I know that at some points you plateau, but I feel like the running aspect has definitely like cut into that a little bit.
Right. Absolutely.
Well, that's another thing is it's not easy to build muscle and at an accelerating rate too, because you need to have those off days. You know, everybody knows you need to have rest days and whatnot, but it just gives you a visual reality of how hard it is to really collect that muscle and why there's not that many fit people in the world. I mean, look at America.
I wonder what the percentage of fit people, like, what is the percentage?
Ooh,
It's
I
gotta
would
be low.
say,
It's gotta be real low. You say it all the time, man. If it was easy, everybody'd be doing it.
well, I said, if
You
it
know?
was easy, there would be no fat people.
And that's a very true statement. But see, the thing is, it's because it's hard that I want to do it, you know. And I think that takes a certain type of mentality when it comes down to it. And don't get me wrong, there's going to be days that I just don't want to do it.
So I was actually just having this conversation with a guy at work yesterday. We were talking about LP1 or LP1s or LP, what are they, like the Ozempics and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And one thing that, like, it's so easy for people to just want to shoot that and then lose the weight. And sure, it's helpful and it's beneficial for those who are severely overweight, but you also have to couple it with other things as well, and exercise, diet. Like, for instance, my boss at work, she lost a bunch of weight and she looks great. She was showing me pictures and I was like, wow, that's very impressive. But she started on like Ozempic or something, but she coupled it with some other stuff, and then she, like, some other supplements, and I think she went through her doctor, and then she coupled it with exercise and eating like healthy, and then she weaned herself off of the Ozempic and then still lives that lifestyle. Most people don't do that. They want the easy, quick fix.
Well, it takes the reason why is the same thing as everything else is discipline or time or whatever it is. People just don't make the discipline the action of it. It's more. I heard this quote from a billionaire one time, and I'm pretty sure I told you guys this at work. But he said he does not measure wealth off of monetary value. He measures it off of discipline. It's because it's easier to be rich than it is to be disciplined. And I was like, that's a very good point. I mean, how many disciplined people do you see in the world that day after day after day can follow through the same thing, cold, sick, whatever it may be, weak, and you say, oh, I don't want to do it today. It's like the Tom Brady quote. It's like, it's not how many times, off the top of my head, I can't remember it, so I'm not going to
paraphrase.
Yeah, basically, you know, it's not how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times you get up. And one of his other quotes is, it's not about your wins, it's about your losses. It's like, how can you bounce back from your losses, which is the same thing. A loss is the same thing as a bad day at work or a bad day at the gym. How do you bounce back from that?
Right.
You know, so a lot of people don't have that ability to maintain the discipline of, it doesn't matter what happens at my day at work, I'm going to go work out. I don't care if I have a bad elbow, bad shoulder, whatnot. Does not matter.
Yeah.
It's hard for people to stay disciplined.
I was talking to a business owner in the sauna the other day, and I was telling him about the podcast and stuff. And he was kind of asking me, like, why are you all over the place with the topics? Like, cause I interview, you know, business owners or politicians or friends, people that are in the fitness industry. Just like I like to talk about all these different things. And but the one thing that is in common with everybody, most of the people, is discipline. Most of the business owners that I've talked to are extremely successful because they're disciplined. They have the discipline to be successful. And that's the one common thing. They have this that in their mind. They're mentally strong in that aspect. And I thought that was an interesting take on it too.
Discipline creates consistency, and if you can keep up the consistency, then that's when you start to see more results out of everything. And it goes in hand with anything. It can go into work, it can go into school, it can go into the house, it can go into whatever it is. But when you don't apply the discipline, the consistency will never be there. So
I agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's the same thing of, you know, when you're failing on your 7th rep out of 10 reps and you're like, I can't do 3 more. No, you figure it out how to get to 3.
Right.
And that little bit of discipline, that little push, you can carry over into the rest of your life. And it's like a little click off in your brain. Like, no, you can do it.
Yep.
Like, your brain will shut off way before your muscles. So it's just, it's a
like,
lot of people don't have that ability or don't want to push themselves or whatever it may be.
That's that David Goggins mentality. He says when you're at the point where you're like, I can't do this anymore, you're only at 40%.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember when you guys introduced me to David, David Goggins.
If we would have introduced him, that would have been awesome.
It was probably 6 months ago. And I was like, this guy's stupid. I don't like this guy. And now he's one of my idols. Like, I cherish him and follow him so heavily because he is one of those people that puts discipline over everything. And it's like, it doesn't matter. And he's a living proof that you can do whatever you put your mind to. It doesn't matter how weak you are, how bad of a day you're having, go out there and do it. Right. And real quick, one of his quotes is somebody, it's not a quote, but it's like a short video I'll sum up. Somebody's running next to him in the middle of nowhere, and he's out running, and the person's taking a picture of him or whatever, and he's like, what are you doing out here? He's like, I'm running. What do you think I'm doing? You think I tell people where I'm going to go run? I just run. And the guy's like this and that, talking back and forth with them. And David's finally like, you know what I hate the most doing is I hate running, but that's what keeps me disciplined. I was like, okay.
One of my favorite things about David Goggins is there's a video of him running in the desert, and it's like so hot outside, and somebody pulls up next to him, and they're videoing him, and they're like, David, why are you out here, man? He's like, because you're not.
Yeah, he's a different kind of animal.
I love it.
Yeah, he really is. The mentality that he has is something that I wish that I could harness. And sometimes I do, but it's not something that is going to be as consistent with me as it is with him. I remember listening to his podcast on Joe Rogan whenever he was talking to him, and he was talking about how some days he just doesn't want to be that person, and but he knows that he has to be that person, because if he isn't, then he's just going to stop. And
he failed himself.
Yeah, and it's what happened to me a long time ago. I took a day off from the gym, and then after that, I never went back.
And sadly, that's the story for many, many people. It's like they just take the day off from the gym. It happens to everybody. It happens to me. Like, sometimes I'll go like a week without working out, and I'm like, then you just kind of like get into a slump. But like, for me, it's different. For you, it's different. For you, it's different. And for other people, it's different. But like, I have the thing in my mind where I'm like, I know what helps me and I know what makes me feel the best. And it's getting back into that discipline routine. And so I know that I have to go back to it.
Yeah,
It's like it's just part of my life.
It's almost like you fiend for that discipline. It's like, wow, my life's kind of like out of routine or out of schedule, and you're like, what do I do to get it back into shape or back into my strict routine? And
You
you
just hit
go
the grind.
and you beat the crap out of your body at the gym, and it disciplines you. I'm telling you, take that. You can take that back home with you. You can take it anywhere. That discipline, that little thing in your brain that clicks on, you can take that anywhere and do so much with it. Real quick, Zorro, I wanted to say, I've been trying to say this for the last 15 minutes.
Sorry, bro.
Yeah, you're talking. No, I'm kidding. I really am kidding. Is watching you progress through the gym. And I know David and I used to pick on you and whatnot. But you
hold on. That we picked on you because we want to push you.
Yeah,
like
don't take it.
Nah,
Yeah,
it's not-
anybody
nah,
listening,
it's
we're
not
not
like a
like,
bully. We're not
yeah,
bullies.
you
Look at it
suck,
like
dude.
that
No. But I watch you progress through your discipline, and it was cool to see. I remember just today, actually, I didn't even tell you guys this, but we were doing the barbell bench, or not bench press, barbell shoulder presses,
Mhm.
which is basically taking the barbell for the bench press and pushing it up for people who don't like a shoulder workout. And we were all three working a line next to each other, and I looked over at Zorro and watching him push himself, and I was seeing he struggled at like his 8th rep, and we're doing 10 reps, right? And he was struggling at his 8th rep, and I wasn't gonna say anything because we pushed Zorro before when all three of us had worked together. We pushed him quite hard, and we're like, dude, you're stopping at 7. Like, don't be a baby. So, anyways, I looked over at your 8th rep, and you were struggling, and I was like, and he gets to his 9th rep, and I'm thinking he's gonna put it back, and he's just sitting there for like 3 seconds, and he pushes it back up, and it's his 10th rep. And it made me so happy. And I didn't say anything to anybody because you built that within yourself. Now, we might have kicked you in the butt a couple times for it, and we kind of showed you what it takes to be disciplined, and you had it in you the whole time. Everybody has it in them. It's just what it takes to bring it out. But seeing that little effort that you did, it really sparked like, okay, well, maybe he's got that spark underneath him. Like,
Right.
it was very, I don't know, it was admirable.
Yeah, it's definitely inspiring. I kind of noticed the same thing when you were when we were doing the preacher curls. Because I'm always used to like whenever you're up, we're like, all right, we're stripping weight off. And so I was about to strip the weight off. You're like, no, I'm gonna do it. And I was like, what? Okay. All right, go for it, Zorro.
No.
And then you gave it a good shot. But before when you first started, you would have taken that. And so that's a sign also that your mind is changing in a positive way. And then also obviously the progress. Like I was like, dang, your back looks good. I recorded it and showed you. You can see his back's all chiseled.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see, he had the muscle shirt on today. I could see the definition in the shoulders and whatnot. And I can guarantee you, looking back 6 months, you didn't have anything close to that. So like all that hard work.
Yeah, dude,
No,
look at
I had
this.
nothing compared to that. And it was the lighting in the Mac. Don't
No,
be
don't
fooled.
lie. That's not lighting. That's progress. That's what that is.
No, that looks good. I wish I could put it on the screen.
Well, I mean, and it just goes to show, when you have the right group of friends around you that are willing to push you, to your next level, and it helps out a lot. And I appreciate you guys for helping me get to this point because I knew that I wanted to. It's just a matter of, how am I going to get there? And you can do it by yourself, but it helps whenever you have the right type of, influences around you in your life that will bring you to that next spot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and it's like that even for me. And I've been on like a physical fitness journey for a long time. But whenever I work out with people, I always push myself harder. I don't know what it is. It's not like I'm trying to show off. I have nothing to prove. It's just like it just helps push you.
And I feed off of it. Well, I think naturally people that go to the gym are competitive anyways, as you look at it. And so when I see you lifting heavy, I'm like, it's one of those days, huh? Okay. and David, don't get me wrong, David's stronger than me, but David will do 13 or whatever we're doing 13 of, and I'm like, that's it, and he'll bust out 15, and I'm like, okay, I'll do 16.
And then it becomes a challenge between you and I, and you're like, well, if you're doing 16, I'm doing 17.
Yeah,
right. You do 17, and then I do 18. It's like this whole thing. It's like, oh my gosh.
But it's just a positive. Yeah, it really is. It's a positive like challenge, I guess.
It's a positive reinforcement. It's accountability in a lot of ways.
That too, and then again, discipline and confidence and all that hand in hand. And it's like, okay, I did 17 this week. Well, next week I'm doing 20.
Right.
And then you're like, okay, well, I'm getting 21.
So I know you guys know each other through GM or whatever, but y'all didn't meet each other until you started working on the same team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And how long have y'all been like actually like working out together, since the beginning part of it, or was it like
Since
something
last fall, I think.
Yeah.
Justin had gone to he had gone to my gym, Powerhouse, a couple times.
Okay.
And
Until
then
we got caught.
yeah. Well, yeah. I may or may not have snuck him in.
It was early. It doesn't matter. Whatever.
I
nobody's
was
there.
willing
It's
to pay the
alright.
fee, but like, which I did pay the fee. Eventually, they caught me, and I had to pay the fee. But yeah, Justin was coming with me early in the mornings, and we had gotten a couple workouts in, and then somewhere along the line, we decided to start going to the gym at work. And I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know when that was.
Yeah, I forgot why we started doing that. I think it was just more convenient to not travel somewhere, because I would go work out at my gym, but I mean it's a 15-minute drive or a 15-second walk.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a big thing, and it's something that
So-
I tell people all the time whenever I'm walking out of work. I'm like, dude, it's right there. You know, like
Yeah.
you don't have to go very far.
A lot of people, they're like, well, the work gym sucks or whatever. It doesn't have the equipment I need. But the thing is like it has everything you need.
Everything.
Like, or people say like, oh, I just don't like they might have some equipment at home, but I just can't do everything that I want to do or that I need to do. And it's like, well, you
Excuse.
don't need to have all this elaborate equipment to get a good workout. And you literally can get a really good workout in with just body weight.
Oh, absolutely. I agree 100%. And it's the thing is, the equipment in there is sufficient for 99.99% of the people in the world. I mean, you're talking the 0.1% that need 500 pounds. So I mean, nobody in there, a select few of people at GM will need something like that. So it's just an excuse, really.
Being able
Calling
to
out
throw
everybody at GM.
Yeah, this guy being able to throw around your body weight is a very big deal. In all honesty, I mean, take people that do yoga, for example. I can't do
Mhm.
half of the things that they
Yoga's
do.
hard.
Like, yoga's hard, dude.
Yeah.
Like, for
I
real.
just went and did hot yoga for the first time. I used to do hot yoga every week, but I went for the first time this year, a couple weeks ago. And oh my gosh, I've been obviously weightlifting a lot. And so
Mhm.
my body's super
Tight,
tight and everything. And I'm like doing these poses and I'm like, oh my gosh, like like what is wrong?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, right. You almost think like something's messed up with your body. Like, do I have to go to a chiropractor? I can't do
Something
this.
like that. Yeah, I mean, like my niece, she does yoga and she has her own little thing going on in Houston. And I think it's called Yoga with Carmen. And shout out to her. And there's things that she can do that I'm just like beyond myself as to how she's capable of doing it. Like, I mean, I've never been able to do a handstand, or what is it that they do wherever they're on their like forearms and they just like lift their entire legs up or the whole body and stuff like that.
I don't know what pose that is. I can't
remember the poses either, but yeah, just doing yoga in general is a very challenging thing. It's very good for the core and it loosens you up,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm just curious. There's 7 people watching right now. I wonder who's watching. Let us know in the comments.
And hello, everybody.
Yeah.
It,
Thanks for tuning in.
Absolutely. I love doing live podcasts because you can engage with the audience.
Yeah.
And
I see him talking or whatever. Something over there. Oh, that's just Dan.
I want to know who Cinnamon Buns is.
I think that's my niece, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not
It's on
100%.
YouTube.
It's lit.
A little bit of a strange name there, but nah. Oh, that's my brother right there.
I love it.
What's up, Daniel? Good to see you, buddy. Hey, and which, by the way,
Thanks for
shout out to
tuning
my
in.
brother Daniel. He is a drummer for a band called Omerta, and and it's not necessarily for everybody, but they're a screamo band, and they do great. They do a lot of live shows. He's been everywhere. It's amazing to see the progress that he's made in his career as far as like being a drummer. He's gone to Tokyo, he's gone to like all over America, everywhere, man. It's crazy.
Can you imagine what that lifestyle would be like?
Dude, I mean, I would embrace the hell out of it, in all honesty. And I know that he is doing that.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a dream, really, for some people. Like, that would be to travel and do what you enjoy doing.
Yeah,
sign me up. So I sure as don't enjoy GM.
iFigs is my cousin from Mexico. Ismael is he was my best friend for a long time, and then this dude got deported to Mexico. Which, by the way,
deported?
Yeah, he got deported when I was 18 years old for it was something stupid. But and then after that, he just chose not to come back. I mean, he was born and raised in Mexico for pretty much like half of his life before he came to America. And then he and we got really close. We were always close as kids, but then he had moved like close to my house. And then after that, he started going to my high school. And at that point, it was like we were inseparable. And I miss him every day. I miss you, cuz I really do. I miss you. But he he ended up going back to Mexico, and he started his whole family and his life and his career over there. I tell him all the time he needs to come back, but he just keeps. I'm not gonna say that he tries to avoid it, but you try to avoid it. And then Sarai, that's my sister. Shout out Sari. Hi Sari. It's good to see you on this. Can't wait to see you guys in January.
Zorro's whole family's on here.
Yeah, well, I
Heck
don't
yeah.
really know.
Where's the mariachi
Yeah.
band?
The mariachi band. Hey, man, where are the tunes? You got the soundboard? No.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious. Not by choice, damn it.
No, and see this whole thing with immigration and whatnot that's been going on too. That's kind of a big deal as well. Like I was sent you an article about with the marathon in Chicago about how people are scared to run the marathon. You know, there was 3,000 Mexicans that have signed up for the Chicago Marathon, which is happening. I don't think it's this weekend. I think it's next weekend. And they're all scared to run it because they don't want to take the chance of being deported to Mexico. And in which case, if they signed up, you know, and they're American citizens, why should you be scared to run something that's so?
Why are American citizens scared?
Exactly, right? What I'm saying.
Oh,
is,
so they're scared of being caught up in the mix.
yes, exactly. And there, I mean, I'm 100%. Well, I don't know if I'm 100% sure about this, but I'm pretty sure that people that are American citizens, that are Mexican American or any kind of Latin American, are terrified to participate in large events like this because they're afraid that there's going to be an issue where they're going to get pulled over in mile 12 and get taken away. You know, like you got, you know, Farmer Juan that's out there that's been working out here for years, you know, just being an innocent, you know, Hispanic in the community and just doing his part. And then all of a sudden he gets taken away, you know, even though he's got a green card or he's got his papers and stuff like that. And I don't think that all of them are those cases, but there is those cases out there, you know?
Well, it's depressing to see what America is really becoming in the past year or so. I wouldn't even say that.
This is an article real quick.
Yeah.
It's stating that it says after the Trump administration escalated its immigration crackdown in the city, runners like, I don't even know how to say that name, Giotti, 31, are worried they could become a target during Sunday's race. Just knowing that I do come from a Hispanic background and also that I am somewhat darker and that these individuals do seem to be targeting people of that demographic as well. Guya. How do you say that? Do you know how to say that?
I'm trying to figure it out. If I were to say it, it'd be Guidotti, or if it's a Hispanic, it's Guidotti, I would think, or Guidotti.
So it's just an extra precaution that I'm taking, that I have my driver's license with me at all times. Questions have been swirling for weeks over whether immigration and customs enforcement agents might target the marathon, which draws thousands of runners from around the world each year. Reflecting the unease, event organizers sent an email to participants Wednesday that referred to an immigration Know Your Rights page on the city's website. An ICE spokeswoman, Tanya Roman, said rumors that agents will be at the race are false. It's absolutely ridiculous to assertion that ICE would conduct immigration enforcement to intentionally disrupt the Chicago Marathon, she said in a statement. These are the kind of rumors that fan the flames of dissent and result in unwarranted and dangerous riots like those in Portland, Chicago, and Los Angeles.
See, I don't agree with that at all. I feel like they're trying to paint the picture that what they're doing is right. And if you do some, I don't know if anybody watching has seen the videos of ICE in Chicago and whatnot, but it's horrible what's going on in there right now. And I'm so glad that the Chicago community is coming together to fight off the ICE. And I get it. I mean, there is an immigration problem here, but they're taking care of it in the wrong way.
What do you think would be the right way?
I mean, you'd have to pay me more money to answer that question.
No, you're right.
So,
I mean, I think it's horrible that it's happening. I mean, and hopefully that's true, that it's just all rumors, but nobody said for sure that anybody was going to be there. They're just worried that it could happen.
Right.
You know, and the fact of the matter is, if we're worried that it could happen, then something's wrong. You know, like you shouldn't, a huge event like Chicago Marathon, it's a beautiful thing. You know, when people come together to run a marathon, you're not running a marathon just because yes, you want to prove something to yourself, but you're also doing it for the camaraderie that comes with running and doing such a major event, because we're all there to support each other. Right?
When you do marathons, what is the percentage of the people that sign up for like a big marathon like that, like the Boston, LA, like all the big ones?
Well,
what's the percentage of I'm curious to know what the percentage of the people that sign up for are from other countries.
Oh, it's got to be huge.
It's got to be.
It's got to be huge. We're talking maybe 70%. I would say.
Yeah,
that's probably a pretty safe number.
I would agree.
And then when you got that kind of a percentage of people, a population in that kind of a crowd, then you're going to, I mean, there's a chance, you just never know.
I mean, it's just ridiculous what's going on out there right now. And especially it's going on in other cities as well. But Chicago is getting a lot of the heat, I feel like, right now, because all eyes are on them.
Says major marathons draw tens of thousands of international participants annually, though exact numbers vary by race and year. For example, the 2025 marathon had entrants from 128 different countries, with international runners making up about 1/3 of the finishing field.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how many people register to or actually get qualified to be able to do Boston, but I know it's a massive number, and you're talking probably like 100,000 people maybe.
Oh, 10,000 of the 30,000 finishers for the Boston.
30,000.
Yeah, 10,000 of the 30,000 finishers for the Boston were from international countries.
So that's that number is a little inflated on my part, but 30% is still a lot of people out of the entire group, and a lot of them are professional runners,
Right.
they're all the ones that are putting the incredible robot numbers out there, because those people aren't human. The ones that can run 2 hours or like 2:05 and stuff like that for a marathon, that's incredible. That's something to be appreciated, not something to be to go out there and feel feared that you're not going to be able to do that. Like, you train hard, you do the best that you can to be able to do the best that you can. And then you have the chance that you're not going to be able to complete that task, and it's just, it's a,
Well, I think it's
hard
much
reckoning.
worse than that. You're not just not completing your task, you're getting put into a facility with ice. I mean, it's a lot more than just not finishing the race, like it's just, I don't know. I don't agree with anything they're doing right now.
Right.
What's that's what I was going to ask you, is what's a good time for, you said 2 hours and some minutes. What's an average time? Like, if I were to go run something like that,
It depends on age group.
Okay.
Well, yeah, the goal that most people want to do for a marathon is usually about 4 to 4.5 hours.
Okay, so
That's a long time.
It's a long time of running, but that's like the average time that most people want for a marathon. Like, you think about it, most people can run a 10K within an hour or so. Like, the average runner is an hour to an hour and 10 minutes.
Wow,
or so,
you're right, Zorro.
Yeah, 4 to 4.5 hours. Yep.
That's crazy.
I did mine in 4 hours and 31 minutes. It was 2 years ago at the Grand Rapids Marathon, which I think is actually happening either this weekend or next weekend as well. And Dave here, he went and did his in 4 hours, or under 4 hours, excuse me.
Under 4 hours.
I'm not gonna, slander that.
Yeah, respect the
respect
name.
that number. Yeah, for sure. I'm kind of hoping that I can hit under 4 this time whenever I do Houston. My goal is 3:45 or better, and I feel like I'm on the right track for it, in all honesty. And if I can get there, then I'll be very happy with myself. I've actually contemplated the idea of getting a running coach after this. If I do this, then just to get me to be able to go past that limit, because my ultimate goal as far as like running goes right now is to qualify for Boston. And I say right now because there's more after it, but right now I want to be able to just qualify for Boston.
So those micro goals, you always have to set like
Absolutely.
the micro goals. Like, what goal can I get? What goal can I achieve like within the next year or two that you can prepare for right now? And then obviously that helps for longer term goals.
Yeah, and you take micro steps towards those goals. Again, back to the discipline.
Yeah.
Who is Cinnabons? Cinnamon buns.
Cinnamon buns. That's my niece.
That's your niece. She said, "I ain't scared. I just got flat feet."
Yeah, you do. You definitely got to be brave. You got to be able to take that fall if you're gonna do something like that. She's talking about the handstand thing that I was talking about. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. The poses in yoga are no joke at all, dude. Oh my gosh.
After I work out at work, I'll go home and my basement and do some yoga. But some of those poses are just like, maybe tomorrow I'll get to them, because they are difficult, and I am not flexible at all.
I know you're not. That's why I keep telling you, dude, you should go to yoga.
I know.
We should do hot yoga sometime. Like
I'm down.
Yeah, we should do it.
I would be down for that.
Do you do like yoga poses, or do you do like a flow?
I do. Basically, I feel what's tight in my body. I have long legs, so a lot of times it's my thighs or hamstrings, and it's a lot of my legs, I would say, the majority of the time. So I literally just Google yoga poses for legs, and I'll perform them. If I can get to them, cool. If not, next time, I'll just push myself a little bit further, stretching and whatnot.
One thing I really like about I go to East Lansing Hot Yoga, and the way they do theirs is, and not every yoga place is the same, but the way they do theirs is you'll start with a pose, whatever pose. Like they have a flow actually. You do a couple different flows or poses, I guess, and then you repeat it on the other side, and then you come back, you do it again, and each flow you do I think 3 times, and so you do it the first time, you're kind of tight. You kind of work through it a little bit, and then the second time you come back to it, you're looser, and then you come back the third time, and you feel better.
Yeah, interesting. See, I've never done hot yoga or anything like that. So
hot yoga like adds a whole, like it's difficult, but I think it adds an element to loosen up your body and makes it easier. It's kind of like stretching in the steam room or sauna. Yeah.
I was just about to say that. My first experience, my only experience with hot yoga was actually with my niece. She took me one day, and I was just like, all right, I'll try it out. Dude, I was sweating. Dude, I was like a waterfall. I almost felt embarrassed the way that I left that floor that day, man. I swear. I was like, I'm sorry, you guys.
Well, I mean, that's how I felt in the sauna when we were in there. I mean, and I'm a skinny guy. I was surprised I was sweating so much, but
I took my friend Scott, who's like 300 plus pounds, to hot yoga with me one time.
Big puppy.
And he did it. He did it. That's the thing with yoga. Anybody can do it.
Yeah.
It's just literally at your own. I mean, Cinnamon Buns can speak to it.
Carmen
can speak to it. Anybody can do it. It's literally at your own pace and at your own level. You can sub things out or like, not do certain motions. So
yeah, for sure. It's kind of like working out too. Like you think that you want to be able to lift, extra heavy, and then you can't. And when you do it, your form is all messed up. And you guys taught me this really well. If your form is not where it needs to be at, drop the weight. Don't feel embarrassed. You know what I mean? Just know that you're not there yet. And when you're willing to accept that, that's whenever you start to see more and better improvements,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, sometimes Justin and I were just talking about this morning because he was texting me saying that he couldn't bench. We were just joking around. This is the whole part of like pushing each other.
Right.
He was talking about benching, and I'm like, you better hit 225. And he's like, I couldn't even get 190. Or he said he could get 196 times. And sometimes you just have to go lighter. Like every lift can't be an ego lift. Sometimes you just have to work through that lighter weight, focus on form, and just do the best you can in that moment. It happens to everybody.
Yeah, it's working out and accumulating all that muscle it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So again, that's why it's difficult.
Do you have any goals, or not necessarily goals, but do you have anything that's coming up that you kind of want to accomplish at any point, like as
fitness related?
Like fitness related, like as far as any kind of like race or like you said you've done like kettlebell contests and stuff like that, or and is there anything that you have in your near sight to be able to try to accomplish?
The problem is time. It's hard for me to like want to like set a goal for like I'm gonna run this race or I'm gonna like do this kind of competition because it takes so much time and effort. My goal right now, the thing is, so I went through a divorce last year, and then my goals just completely changed. Like I've always kind of had something that I needed to train for, like either a marathon or some sort of race or some sort of competition. I even wanted to get into powerlifting for a minute. But the thing is it takes so much time and effort. And I was like, I just need to focus on just being healthy and learn to know what it's like to just train just so I'm happy as a person instead of like trying to find an achievement. And so, that's what I did. I just focused on like just lifting and just trying to be healthy. And I think I feel greater now than I ever have trained for anything.
Right.
I feel healthier. I feel stronger. I feel better. I look better. And so no, I don't really have any like goals as far as like training for like a race or anything like that.
Right.
But yeah, I just want to be as healthy and robust as I can possibly be.
I'm with you on that. Like, I think that whenever you're doing it because you enjoy it, you become a better, a better version of yourself. Like whenever I feel like I'm training for a marathon, I feel like I do it because I have to do it. I'm not doing it because I'm enjoying it, even though I do enjoy the actual thing. It's just more so I'm putting myself through an actual program versus like, because this year my goal wasn't to I guess I was trying to run the marathon, but earlier in the year, I literally set myself to the point where I was like, I'm not trying to accomplish anything. I just want to have good habits, you know? So in the beginning of the year, I started out with fasting, and I started out at like 205 pounds. Right. And then after that, I went into fasting, and I had a goal weight for the 25K in May that we did together. And I hit that goal, and I did that. And then I stayed with the fasting for a little bit longer, but I was like, I need something more to get me to feel where I'm actually going to be at. And that's when 75 hard came into play. And I was like, all right, I'm going to try this. And so I did that. But while I was doing all that, as I was working out, I was doing it because I wanted to just create the better habits and whatnot. So being in that motion helped me have like a clearer mindset as to what I really wanted out of myself, you know?
Right.
So
Yeah, it was cool to see Zorro zero in. Just your mindset and your transformation took a complete 180. Like seeing you really dial in for something. Like again, just for the story I was telling you a couple minutes ago about the struggling at the 8th rep. Like seeing that mentality, you have done a complete 180, and it's just cool to see other people take that journey from discipline and all the hard work, despite everything else that's going on in life, and still being able to accomplish that. It's just really cool to see, I guess.
Let me ask you this, because finding balance is always hard. And that's the thing that's one of the reasons why I'm not training for anything, because when you train for, like, let's say a marathon, and it's like a job. Like when I was in marathon prep, I would spend on like my longer runs 2 hours running easily. And then that's 2 hours out of your day that you're taking away from your family or whatever. So like, what is that balance like for you? Is it difficult to maintain? Does your wife get mad at you at times?
My wife hates me for it sometimes. But look, listen, shout out to my family, because they are very, very supportive. Both that goes down to my in-laws, that goes down to my wife, that goes down to the friends that my wife has that she calls family and that she considers her family and whatnot. Because without their help, I don't know if I'd be able to do the things that I do at this point. And it takes a village, is what they usually tell you. You know what I mean? And if you're doing it, and you're doing it without that extra support, all the power to you, because like it's something it's very hard, in all honesty. But to find the balance, I mean, we're blessed to have the work schedule that we have, because we get out of work at 2:30. So when we get out of work at 2:30, and my kids don't get out of school till a certain hour, and then they ride the bus, and so they don't get home until a certain hour. So I have a gap in between some of that time to be able to accomplish some of my goals and whatnot. So you got to find that time, you know.
Do you find that because I oftentimes felt this way, but like when you are in the middle of training for something, or you take time to, like, a couple hours a day to go for a run or something, that it's a selfish act?
There's a mixed answer to that for me, because yes, I do consider running to be a selfish thing. Absolutely. I consider anything that has to do with fitness in general a selfish thing. However, I also think that whenever you're doing it for them as well, because you're helping your own mental to be able to be the better version of yourself for them. You know what I mean? I think that you have to take the grain of salt with it, because some people won't consider it to be a selfish thing, and that's fine. If you don't want to consider it selfish, that's cool. But I think that you're taking time for yourself to better them, but you're also doing it in a way to be able to have time for yourself, right?
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes whenever you're doing it for that reason, it becomes the wrong reason to do it. And I feel like I've learned to distinguish that whole thing. And it just depends on how your lifestyle is, you know?
Yeah, I think that when you are doing something that benefits you, and like I'm sure running helps you with mental clarity and emotions, and just like balancing everything. It may be selfish in the amount, like in the time that you're taking away from people, but in the end, it's also benefiting, because your family's benefiting from it. You come home a happier person. Your kids are like, oh, dad, like they see that he's disciplined. Longevity, like you're going to be able to live longer because you're healthier,
right?
Which, yeah, you're selfish, but you're also not being selfish, because you're allowing yourself to be healthier longer for your family. You're able to go for runs with your kids. You can run around the yard. You can pick them up, throw them around, jump on the trampoline.
I think that's one of the biggest reasons why I started making sure that I was a healthier person, because I wanted to make sure that I could keep up with my children. You know, I wanted to make sure that when they're 18 and I'm whatever age that is, and I'm almost going to be 50 something by that time, I'll be able to keep up with them, you know. Hey, this guy. But you know, I'll be able to keep up with them, and I'll be happy that I can, you know. And I think that it's a big thing that people tend to lose their mindset with, is that they don't understand how far your life can go if you do continue to be a healthy person. You know, they say that the secret to life and a long life is to stay young, and the best way to stay young is to keep your body healthy, right? So your body's a temple, so treat it like one.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're religious, that's what it says in the Bible, right? Your body's the temple of the Holy Spirit, and they should take care of it. But yet, there's a lot of fat Christians, and they're like, bro, do you not read the Bible?
It tells you to do it, man. Come on now. This guy.
Well, no comment.
I oftentimes I feel that like my routine is selfish in a lot of ways. And that's another reason why I don't train for anything, because like I take so much time for myself right now, like working out and doing everything that I do. I mean, you guys did the routine that I would always do today. That's how much time it takes me every single day to do that. And I feel like it can be selfish at times, but in the end, everybody's benefiting from it.
Absolutely. I agree. So I see my cousin here. He was talking about how he's been walking for 3 months and he started, and he said he messed up his knee. You know, walking is such an underrated exercise.
I just want to preface that I just released an episode with Sarge about walking.
Yeah.
Very good episode.
Yeah, and again, walking is a very underrated thing that most people take for granted. And if you use it the proper way, it'll definitely get you into because when I was doing 75 hard, that's what I did. I would walk and I would bike and I would run. I would run, but on the days that I wasn't running, I would bike and I would walk. And the walking, I think, is what helped me burn a lot of that fat that I had, because whenever
would you do it at a elevated heart rate?
I would try to make sure that I was like running. I was walking at like a 18 to 7, anywhere between 18 and 15 minute pace. Yeah, for sure. Because if you
15
don't,
minutes is hard.
That's hard.
It's
man.
so
Are
hard.
you kidding me? It would be hard to get to that 15-minute pace, man. I felt like I was almost running half the time.
Yeah, you look funny and everybody's looking at you while you're doing it.
Yeah. You're like power walking through the mall and stuff, you know?
I remember like being young and like seeing those people in the mall and you're like,
yeah, right.
But like there's something
better to do.
There's something to that when you walk that fast, and especially if, like we had mentioned on the podcast, if you do it after you eat a meal, instead of going and sitting on the couch and watching TV or whatever like everybody wants to do, like I want to do.
Yeah.
It allows your body to break down and process that food and the nutrients and everything, and then you burn fat.
I agree 100%.
But yeah, so he injured his knee.
I think he was trying to say that he jogged and instead of walking.
Jogged.
But regardless, though, walking is probably where you should have started, is my, because
start cold plunging, brother.
Yeah, right.
It'll help.
It'll help you out. And I don't know how many cold plunges they really have in Mexico, but you know, it's pretty tough out there, man. The cartel out there is crazy. They run all that stuff. And
I just seen something today or yesterday that people are telling people who go to like Cabo and stuff to not come because the what's the cartels? That's down there.
A lot of them. There's Sinaloa.
The Sinaloa cartel. Yeah. They're gonna start attacking Americans and stuff.
Jeez.
But
yeah, I had some family that were gonna visit there in Mexico last year, and they got they got some report from the airline saying we're not flying you guys there. Like they canceled the flight because of I don't remember the exact reason,
but there was an article that I saw not too long ago where they were saying that Trump was actually going to hit them straight on or something like that, where he was actually going to target the Senate. He was going to, I don't know exactly what the whole thing was, but I would put in there, I would probably search up something about Trump going to war with the cartel.
What do you guys think about Trump hitting those boats?
Which boats?
The drug mules coming.
That's probably what they were talking about, in all honesty. I mean,
why not? I don't know what that is.
Yeah, me neither. But why not though, right? Like, I mean, if you're really trying to put a stop to certain things, I think that there's a fine line between the idea of being a madman and just doing whatever the hell you want to do, and then being the person that's going to, you know, create peace out of a war, you know, and that war has to be chosen, you know, I think that war has to be chosen very carefully, because if you're picking on the wrong ones, then it's gonna end up backfiring on you at some point in time.
But if they're bringing drugs into the country, are you picking on the wrong ones?
I don't think so. I think that that's a smart move. Being real with you, yeah. See, Trump determined the U.S. is now in a war with the drug
Hold on.
cartels.
Let me share this to the
What's
screen.
the date on that though?
It just happened like a week ago.
Yeah, I just seen the article for it like 2 days ago or something like that.
Which is cool, but are these people? Do we know that they were smuggling?
Well, I don't know if that's
why?
what this is. This is something different, I think. I think that he's just determined to let us know that he is not taking it anymore, that he's just ready to go ahead and just...
Okay. So President Trump has decided that the United States is engaged in a formal armed conflict with drug cartels. His team has labeled terrorist organizations, and that suspected smugglers for such groups are unlawful combatants. The administration said in a confidential notice to Congress this week. The notice was sent to several congressional committees and obtained by the New York Times. It adds new detail to the administration's thinly articulated legal rationale for why 3 U.S. military strikes the president ordered on boats in the Caribbean Sea last month, killing all 17 people aboard them, should be seen as lawful rather than murder. Mr. Trump's move to formally deem his campaign against drug cartels as an active armed conflict means he is cementing his claim to extraordinary wartime powers. Legal specialists said, in an armed conflict as defined by international law, a country can lawfully kill enemy fighters even when they pose no threat, detain them indefinitely without trials, and prosecute them in military courts.
That's crazy. I did not know that, actually.
Well, I mean, that's not far off of what ICE is doing in Chicago right
I guess
now.
that's true, but that's on our land.
Right,
you know
but
what I
if you
mean?
think
I
about,
know,
we
but-
can't just send boats into international waters.
Yeah, that was another. Yeah, I remember reading that, actually hearing about it.
Okay, so a retired judge, advocate, general lawyer who was formerly the Army senior advisor for law of war issues said drug cartels were not engaged in hostilities, the standard for when there is an armed conflict for legal purposes, against the United States because selling a dangerous product is different from an armed attack. Noting that it is illegal for the military to deliberately target civilians who are not directly participating in hostilities, even suspected criminals. Mr. Korn called the president move an abuse that crossed a major legal line.
I would agree with that statement, but there's two sides of the story. You know, what happens if they didn't have any drugs on them? What happens if they had 50 pounds of fentanyl? You know,
yeah, it goes back to what I was saying. Like, I mean, there's a thin line between doing something crazy and, you know, making it a peaceful war type thing.
I think he was like trying to make a statement.
Yeah, I agree too.
He's like setting a precedent. Like, we are cracking down on this. Don't be sending boats in. This is what's going to happen.
It's kind of like what happens at work. Is somebody straggles in 2 minutes late and then they get rolled up for it. And it's like, we are setting the precedent that you show up X amount of minutes late, 30 seconds, 1 minute, we will write you up.
Yeah, that happened to me.
It happened to Zorro too.
It did.
I got wrote up for 18 months.
That was
because of that.
crazy.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I'm going to call all of them out right now on the podcast.
F all of you.
Yeah, but I don't know. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to ask about this American honey in front of me.
Oh, you want some?
Yeah, it looks good.
So, guys, we have whiskey here. It's American Honey by Wild Turkey.
Oh,
and nothing says more American than having it in a
AR-15.
an AR-15 decanter.
Yeah.
So
I thought we were absolutely.
Here, you want me to pour it, or you want to drink out of it?
Whatever you recommend. Let me just pour it in there so I
All right.
don't spill it on myself.
I think it's awesome. I think that's a pretty. Where'd you get that from?
I got it for my birthday 1 year.
Okay.
Oh, that's a doozy. That's probably good.
So the glass has bullets in it, like it was shot. It's pretty
Which
cool.
I think is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Why, thank you.
So also part of the 75 hard is that you also give up alcohol and you still haven't drank anything, right?
No, I've actually
Now.
I've actually drank on my anniversary. I chose to do that because I didn't want to leave my wife hanging on that one. And honestly, it's an occasion, right? Like, it's something that you got to celebrate, and I think that celebrating it is very important. And then I just chose to go ahead and do it. I had one Moscow Mule, but it was an
Ooh.
Irish Mule though. But see, the thing is, like, and I don't know what it is about these people, and
I know where this is going.
you know where this is going. I don't know what's
Cheers.
going on.
Cheers, brothers.
Hey, hold on. Let me pour my water for you real quick, and then
Cheers.
there we go. Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
Thank you for having me, man.
Absolutely.
Cheers, brother.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Cheers to happiness.
I don't know what's going on with the
Cheers to
bartenders.
everybody who's watching us. We've had steady 7 people pretty much this whole time. People come and
Yeah,
go,
dude.
but we still have 5 people listening. So cheers, everybody.
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you guys.
Thank you for tuning in.
And if you're listening after the live podcast, we appreciate you as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the bartenders of America these days, but when I ask for an Irish mule, what do you think that I'm asking for?
I don't know what an Irish mule is.
Okay, do you know what a mule
I
is?
said the same
Yes,
thing.
I love
Okay.
mules.
Okay, he said the same thing. He's like, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, so a mule, a Moscow mule is a Moscow mule because what? It has
It's from Russia.
the vodka that is in there, it should be, yeah. So it has vodka and the ginger beer, right? So if I said that I wanted an Irish mule, it's because I wanted a Jameson and ginger beer. That's actually what it is. And these people, and for some reason nobody knows what that is. Like I was like, how do y'all not know what an Irish mule is? Like
Maybe you just had bad luck.
I don't know. We're in 2 restaurants, both of
Was
them
it?
are
Were
nice.
they local restaurants?
No, well, I don't want to put them on blast. Like
You don't
that,
have to,
no.
but were they local?
Yeah, they are.
Oh, okay.
One's a nicer one that just opened up not too long ago.
Copper
And
sock.
and then the other one was also another one that opened up not too long ago that's in the same area. But yeah, it was fine. I mean, it was still okay. I drank the drink that they gave me, but it wasn't what I was looking for. So it was just kind of confusing. Yeah, but
I feel like whenever I've gone to different restaurants and asked for a mule, it's a lot of people don't know how to make them. It's weird.
yeah, it is kind of strange, isn't it? And
Yeah.
this is coming from a guy that was a bartender for a long time.
Did it
so-
come in a copper mug?
No, it came in like a glass.
Try. See, they're
See,
dropping the ball. Left
That's
and
what
right.
I'm saying. Like, come on now. But yeah, like, so because I bartended for so long, I have higher expectations whenever I order a drink, I guess. But like at the same time, I'm willing to be okay with it because I did bartend for so long. You know, like I wasn't about to send my drink back or anything like that.
Do you feel like when you bartended, because like oftentimes when I think about a bartender, I think about the song The Piano Man. I think about all these people coming in and just kind of sitting at the bar talking about their days, like what was work like.
I think
Was it
being
like that?
well, real quick, I think being a bartender, I've never been one. I think it'd be an awesome job to have.
It's fun, dude. I'm not gonna lie. When I retire from GM, I've already told my wife this before. It's like either I will go and I will bartend at a fine dining restaurant or something more higher class, or I will go back to filming. You know, and that's something that I wish that I would have never really gave up, in all honesty. But that's bartending is fun. It's a great time.
Yeah, you meet all variety of people. It's kind of like GM, but you are just serving people instead. You know,
Absolutely.
you have a broad horizon.
Horizon.
Let me take another drink. Yeah, broad horizon of people.
Mm-hmm.
I went to a local restaurant one day and I was by myself and I just went and sat at the bar and I ordered a drink and all these people came in. It was like right around 5 o'clock and the guy sitting next to me was a lawyer. The guy sitting on the other side of me was like some sort of, I think he worked at a bank. And then he had a group of people come in and they were sitting at the bar talking about their day. And then these guys are talking about their day. And I'm just like, man, this is like the song, The Piano Man.
Yeah.
Like, and then the bartenders engaging in the conversation. I'm like, man, this is so like
Movie.
yeah,
It's
like
like
a movie.
it's like something out of a movie. I love it. Yeah.
Go
and
ahead.
then like to be that person that like serves them something that just like kind of, because like alcohol is like a social lubricant. It makes you feel good.
Mhm.
And to like be able to just kind of give them something, they loosen up, they talk about their day,
Happy.
they're happy. Like, I don't know, that's gotta be a good feeling.
It was a good feeling because when you are that barrier of when it was a bad day to it turning into a good day. So at that moment, you are the reason why their good day started to happen. So I always appreciated that part for sure.
I remember when I lived in Tennessee and I would go to downtown Nashville, and there's times where I would go with groups of people, or sometimes it was just 1 or 2 people, and we would get separated or whatnot, and I'd be there by myself. And just the people there were so interesting, I should say, because you get people from all over the world that go to Nashville. I mean, it's like the new melting pot of America. I feel like
It's one of them for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, I would definitely say one of them. There's probably a couple other ones, but it was
I'd
just
say Austin is the number
it
one
was
right
cool.
now.
Really, over Nashville.
It's a
Yeah.
very popular city at this point. Yeah, everybody from California, I think, is moving to Texas, and
Not
I think that
even-
not Nashville, excuse me, Austin has become the biggest target as far as like
Yeah.
newer
I would
types of
say,
people.
but the thing is, Tennessee is right where people want to be right now. Like I feel like a lot of people went down to Florida and that got oversaturated,
Oh, yeah.
and now the weather's hot and with global warming and whatnot, so people want to go up north just a little
Oh, don't get
bit.
me started, bro. No, I'm just
And
playing.
bro, I mean, you would have people from all over the world, all over the America as well, going to Nashville just to migrate there and live there, and it's an awesome state. I just didn't enjoy my work, so I would move back.
Right. I think that
Yeah.
Texas is probably one of the top places to live because of the freedom that most people feel like they have there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the number one growing state
It really
in the
is.
United
Yeah.
States.
I'm from Houston. I lived in Texas until I was 24, and I miss it every day, and like I do want to go back eventually, but that all depends on how my family progresses, so
Mhm.
yeah.
I remember flying into Texas. I had a layover in I think I was in Dallas, and the pilot said, "We're entering Texas," and I'm like, "Cool, we're almost there." And I looked at the line. You have the little screen on the
Yeah.
airplane, and I'm like, "All right, yeah, we are in Texas," and it said we still have 45 minutes until we land. I'm like, "You got to be kidding me!"
That's like whenever I drive to Houston, man. I swear, every time I drive and we get to Texas, it's like, yay, we're in Texas. 5 hours later, we're
Yeah.
finally in Houston.
And-
Texas is such a
It's
big state.
massive.
Yeah, I just remember looking down, and every house had a little blue dot on it, and I'm like, "What are those?" And you get a little lower down to the ground, and like, "Oh, they're pools.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a pool.
Yeah.
Everybody has a pool."
You just went to Dallas, right? So
I was in Dallas, I was in Austin, San Antonio, Waco, yeah, and everywhere in between.
how'd you feel about it?
Dude, I love it.
Yeah.
I love Texas so much. I would for sure move there. In fact, I was like, some of the Airbnbs I stayed in, I'm like, man, maybe I could like buy one of these and turn it into Airbnb, and that way have a vacation place.
Yeah, I have lots of friends that do that stuff.
Yeah.
Down in Florida, all south.
So the thing about Austin is it's like the biggest tech boom right now, and it's way too crowded. It's a crazy place, but that's where like all the famous people are right now. That's
Mhm.
where all the tech industry is, and everybody's trying to make it. It's like the new Hollywood, essentially.
That's how I feel about Nashville. I mean, but I don't want to say you're biased, but you just know more about Texas than Nashville, and that's how I feel about Nashville. It's the same thing.
I've been to Nashville, and
Well,
I feel like Nashville is over glamorized in a lot of ways.
It is.
Like it's like the country Hollywood.
It is.
And everybody's trying to make it. But one thing I realized when I went last year to Texas, and I was in Austin, I was kind of going to some of the bars and stuff, is like the music is completely different than like Nashville. Like they're playing country music, but they're also playing other kinds of music as well. But it's just a different kind of vibe. Like these are like, I would say they're better artists. Some of them are better artists.
Even though Nashville is quote unquote the music city,
the country city. Well, I guess, yeah.
will. I'll tell you, there's a good portion of people there that could not sing. But the cool thing is, I'll never forget this. I went into Johnny Cash's bar when I was down there in Nashville one time. Johnny Cash's bar is right in the corner, and I walked in there, and there was some chick singing, and she was in a band, and it was the best concert I've ever been to, and it was free. You walked right in there, and she killed every song, and she would come around with a bucket and say, "What do you want me to play?" All right, I'll play that. You got any money? Like tips? Sure, here's $5. I'll play that for you. I mean, she went from Soundgarden to Third Eye Blind.
Yeah.
She even did some rap. I mean,
That's awesome.
Everything.
I feel like it almost takes more talent to be somebody like that, because you have to kind of, it's like, all right, so if you're an artist, like your brother probably can attest to this, but if somebody comes to your show, they know what they're paying for. They like you already. Like, so you're playing to a certain audience. But when you are like opening in a bar, and like they may or may not like you, so you kind of have to play all the like a various like
Yeah, you have a
amount of music.
yeah, you have to have a nice variety. Not only
Yeah.
that, but you have to be good. If you're not
Right.
good, then
People are gonna boo you off stage at
Yeah.
that point.
Like I've heard the same thing, like you said, when I was in Texas, I heard this guy playing like I can't even list the songs, I don't remember. But like he was playing like all these like old, like I'd say like 07, 08, like alternative type of music, and I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, his voice is so amazing, and there's nobody in the bar, and I'm like, this guy could like probably open up for somebody.
That's I went to Nashville again, different time, and I went through these back room and went through another back room and opened up to this huge bar that I didn't even know existed. And there's maybe like 5 people in there. And I'm talking a bar, I mean, the size of a football field, maybe 3/4 of a football field, huge. and they had a stage up front, 5 people in there, and this guy was killing it.
That's
and I was
crazy.
just like,
It just goes.
go ahead.
Yeah, it just goes to show how much unwritten talent there is out there. You know, like there's so many people out there that need to get recognized, but the competition is so high now, especially with the way that people can just put themselves out there with the internet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I guess that's also a problem too, because how many people can put themselves out there, it becomes washed out a little bit, you know?
Yep.
So it's kind of hard to do that now.
I feel the same way when it comes to like athletes. Like if you look at athletes from like the 70s, and then you look at a basketball player from the 70s, and then you look at a basketball player now, completely different type of human. And it's like that in almost every single sport. If you look at UFC, the people when they first started, completely different than like everybody now is a super athlete.
Yep. I back when I this is off a little bit off topic, but back when I used to play Call of Duty professionally, you know, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I was extremely good at Call of Duty, where almost anybody in the world could not match my skill making because it's a game of chess. Now I watch these people play now, and 90% of them would have washed me up, and it's because of the competition, of the recognition and social media and whatnot, and it's all coming to fruition of like, how good are you? And it's like, okay, well, that guy Bob down in his mom's basement will beat you, you know.
Well, and I think like you had said, it's like the internet, people post it or they'll stream it live, and they're like, wow, that person's really good, I need to learn how to beat them. So then they like go and they try to learn how their strategies, and then they find a better strategy.
Yep. Well, I don't want to talk about gaming too much, but now that a lot of people are getting the social media and all in the cameras and whatnot, other teams are looking at their strategies and how they break off in the very beginning of the game. It's called a break, and then they're copying it. And well, then now they have to alter that. Well, it's just the meta consistently changes. Same thing with basketball.
Yeah,
meta consistently changes.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same concept as like any sport. You go and sit there, watch highlight reels, right?
Yeah.
And then you see like, oh, that's the kind of things that they like to do. I need to train specifically for that.
Yeah,
same thing.
Now there's I don't even want to call them sub-professional basketball team, but and this goes for every sport really. But there's, you know, a group of people like Moneyball is a good one. There's very competitive. Back at an aim high. Anyways, I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry.
You're good. No, it happens on the podcast. That's how you know it's a real conversation. Like you'll be sitting there talking, you're just like,
what was that?
I don't
again?
remember what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
Freaking the American honey got me wrapped up in the conversation.
Oh man.
We've been going for an hour and 16 minutes, and there's people steadily watching. I love this. This is sweet.
Yeah,
nice.
I looked back at the clock I was like, it's only got to be, you know, a half hour in, and we were an hour and some minutes in already. I was like,
that's what I love about the podcast is like it's a time warp.
It really is.
Like,
you get trapped in the conversation before you know it. Yeah, exactly. But that's also a great thing, you know. I mean, and it's good to know whenever you got people that you can have a good conversation with. For
Absolutely,
sure.
and I mean, like obviously we can because we work together and
Right.
stuff. Like we've said in the beginning, like having a podcast about the things we talk about would be sweet at work.
Absolutely.
And we all just mesh well too. We all have our own little, you know, we all just mesh well.
Absolutely.
Man, I'm sitting here thinking about these drinks that you guys got going on right now, man.
You want one?
I kind of
take
do.
a sip.
Hey, you know what? Yeah,
Just
pour me-
kidding. No,
pour me a
don't.
little shot. Why
All
not? Dude,
Don't-
it's not like I haven't drank.
Don't do it on our behalf,
I'm
but if
not. I'm doing it off of my own.
all right,
All right.
I'm not responsible for
Yeah.
it.
The wife kicks you out. It's not our fault.
Ah,
I'm just kidding.
that's good.
Just a little shot, you know, big deal.
Don't look, babe. No.
All right. Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. As
Cheers.
always. Yeah, man.
Oh, that's so good.
This goes down sweet.
It's so good.
I wish, you know, unfortunately, I should have brought ice.
I have ice cubes, like an
That
ice
meant
cube.
ice cubes, not ice.
So one thing I used to do with whiskey is I would put it in a tray and then put it in my smoker and smoke the ice or the water. You just smoke water.
And then you freeze it.
Then you freeze it, and then you could taste the smoke flavor in the drink. Oh, it's so good.
So is that like the same concept of what these bartenders were doing, where they would like light up something and then they would like turn it off and trap it?
Kind of. I like the smoke thing better.
Yeah.
Because it gives it's a whole different sensation. But yeah, it gives it the same kind of flavor.
Okay.
That's interesting.
You guys are big on the whole whiskey and cigar thing. I swear that you guys like to do that quite a bit. Is it something that y'all like just do often, or is it?
We don't do it too often. But yeah, I mean, I love cigars are so good.
It's just a good vibe, a good
It's like this.
refreshment.
It's
Yeah,
like this. It's like
I was
just
just gonna say.
chilling, talking, and engaging in an activity together.
So
It's just
kind of like sitting at a
relaxing.
bar type thing, you know, just
Yeah,
enjoying the
you're
vibe that's
you're
happening.
lounging.
Yeah,
You're sitting in like a
Yep.
lounge chair.
Oh, wow. Where we go,
Yeah.
where we go is low key, and you get this big comfortable booth. So it's a vibe. Sit there. I mean, I can listen to music all, as you know, because I put my music on all the time at work. I can listen to music and vibe all day, every day. And then you have David with me to converse with, and it's just a nice little vibe.
Yeah, for sure. That's what's up. Yeah, I tend to listen to a lot of podcasts when I'm at work. Like, I mean, bigger ones that I listen to, Wi-Files, of course. You know, everybody knows that one. And I'd listen to yours sometimes, and then like I don't know. I know that you're not, you know, not being engaging, because I appreciate that you sit back and you actually listen to your music sometimes, because that gives me the chance, you know.
Yeah, all the time Zorro will ask me a question. Like on Friday, he asked me a question. He asked me this question, and I'm not gonna repeat it, but I was like thinking in my head, dude, I don't want to talk about this right now.
I can tell whenever he feels that way too. I
Yeah.
swear I just do it just to be annoying sometimes. I think
Oh,
I
it
had to
pisses me
What
off.
was that stupid question? I swear it was something like, how long would it take you to notice if the moon disappeared or something?
Oh
like
my
that.
god,
No,
that's
it's
actually a
my
good
shadow.
Oh,
question.
your shadow. Yeah, that's
That's
right.
it, dude. 3 seconds.
How long would it take? That's a good question.
Yeah. How long would it take you to notice if the moon wasn't there anymore?
If it, well, you gotta. There's a lot of
Is
variables.
it cloudy? Is it cloudy?
Well,
Yeah.
that's the thing. I mean, it could be cloudy one day and then the next day it's not. But do you really think about it again after that? You know what I mean? Like,
But you have if it's a new moon, it's not even there. So you would have what cycle? If it's a full moon cycle,
right, you're gonna see that.
I will notice
But
within
do
2
you
minutes.
keep up with the cycle like
Okay,
that?
but
though?
if there's
Yeah,
no
yeah.
moon, it's going to be
I do.
dark.
Yeah, that's true. That's a very good point. But really though, because like you think about the idea of how much light pollution there really is, dude. Can you imagine if we were
I
to
think it'd
turn
be
off
dark.
all the lights though? Like,
think it'd be
oh my
dark.
God, it'd be so beautiful outside.
I love, yeah. Well, my dad has a place up north, and it's in the middle of nowhere. And I'll go up on this big hill, and shout out to Jack Pine. I'll go up on this big
Yeah,
hill
boy.
and go up there, and it's euphoric. I can't explain. When you can see the entire Milky Way, there's just something about it that makes you feel so small.
Yeah.
Can you
I-
actually see it like that?
It's yes,
Really?
Yeah, it's
That's
Now,
beautiful.
mind you, you got to have no moon
Right.
and a clear sky. But yeah, the thing is, you can't take pictures of it because
Your cameras
your
can't
phone.
handle it.
No.
Yeah.
Have you ever
exactly.
like driven out like you're coming out of like the country and into a city and you see the light pollution coming from the
Yeah.
city?
You look behind you and it looks like all pretty and stuff?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I agree. You know, a little bit off topic of this whole thing, but like, so AI recently has been used to try to, you guys know about Göbekli Tepe?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like it's the oldest structure, one of the oldest structures that have been found in modern times right now. I think they're dated it back to about 13, maybe 16,000 years ago, somewhere around there. And so there's these all the
How do you spell it?
oh my God, it's
There it is.
Goblebel. Yeah, that. So all those towers or whatever you want to call them or whatever, they have like depictions on them, correct? And everybody's been trying to figure out what these things mean. There's one that I think it's Pillar 43 or something. Oh, they're pillars. Yeah, excuse me. Pillar 43 is the one that everybody always gets all like worked up about because they think that is the last one that happened that they created before the younger Dryas impact happened, and they think that they were trying to explain something to us or whatever. So what they did was they took AI and they put those images into AI. And I don't know how much I really believe this this whole thing. I think that AI is using the information that it has now to be able to try to figure out what's going on with it.
Yeah, because it scrubs the internet. That's what AI does.
Exactly. And so like they're saying that supposedly it's like the constellations of the stars or something like that is what they were
Interesting.
drawing. I don't see that. Like that's not what I see whenever I look at it. I see like probably a story being told, but it's all animals, right? And so I think that what they were trying to say is that each one of these pillars is a time in history of what the constellations look like at that time. And I don't understand how you would get such, beautiful images like that out of the stars. Like I mean, obviously there's
that
always,
seems a little far fetched.
I think so too, in all honesty. But yeah, going into the star thing or whatever, like to be able to see the constellations that clearly would be a big deal for us now as well. And I know that there's places that they have this new telescope in Chile that you can see the entire universe basically, or well, at least a piece of it, whatever direction that you're doing it for. But like the modern human, we can't see these kinds of things anymore because of the way that we turn on the lights. It kind of sucks.
Well, let's stick on the AI topic. What do you guys think? Because actually, it's funny. I just coincidentally watched a video maybe right before I left to go work out. What do you guys think about AI in the next 5 years? Like, just as a topic.
I think that it's unprecedented. I think that it's going to be so advanced. We don't even realize how advanced it's going to be.
Advanced in which way?
In every single way. It's going to be implemented in everything.
I agree with that part.
Well, you can see the American jobs. The American jobs have already dropped off a cliff.
There's going to be so many degrees that are completely unnecessary and that people have already gotten that's going to be completely useless.
Well, again, the job market right now is down how much percent?
However, I think that it's going to make society more efficient in a lot of ways.
I agree. Something cool in this video that I watched,
but I'm going to say that it's also concerning as well.
It is. It's very the video I watched said that you have seen nothing yet with the AI, and they are this is still backdoor stuff. Like it's not out to the public quite yet, but you have all these alphas like 1 and 2, 3, 4. They're on 4 right now, and they said this is so sophisticated that CEOs are asking the alpha questions, and they will go into these meetings and say, "Hey, the alpha said we should do this." And this is the CEO.
It the alpha?
It's the alpha 4.
Oh, that's not what the name of the AI is? Okay.
They're saying in the 3, for instance, the alpha 3 has like it was controlled by a little cube. Like there's like the computer chips are little cubes like this. And it's just one of them controlled the third one. And that's what we're on right now. Yeah. The 4th one is like 20 of these cubes. So just imagine the capability and the power and the engineering behind it and the technology that is capable of. So the CEO, this is ongoing as we speak right now. CEOs are using that to run their company. They're saying, well, this is what we need. How do we do it? Or I need help with this. What do I have to do? And it just bing, here you go.
So I was talking to a business owner the other day in the sauna. This is what I mean. I was
going to ask about that.
I have the best connections in the sauna at the Mac. Like, because I mean, the people that sign up for memberships at the Mac are like typically like entrepreneurs and like successful people.
Yeah, I mean, well, it costs money to get in there.
It's a very expensive place to be.
But the thing is in the sauna, you're all just kind of in there. You're packed in there, and you have to talk.
Right.
Kind of have to talk.
Eventually.
And this guy, he owns a car repair shop. Very successful. It's a foreign car repair place, and they have a location on the west side of Lansing, and then he has a location in like Owasso, and then 3 like overseas or whatever. But one of the things he was interested in is he wants to create, like for his website, like he wants to take it to a whole new level where, you come in and you have an AI system that diagnoses your car for you. It tells you exactly what's wrong. It gives you an estimate on repair and everything. And then you can watch the process, like, I don't know, like video or whatever, as it's getting repaired. And
interesting.
He was telling me that, in Europe, because he was like, yeah, I was abroad for 7 months in some European country, and he was like, over there's so much more advanced than Michigan. Michigan is so like kind of stagnant in like an upwards kind of way as far as AI development and web development. We're not like super advanced. Like if you go to Austin, everything's like AI and technologically like advanced.
Yeah, well, you got to think when that stuff first comes out, they're looking for most profitability off rip. So
right, so like
cities.
Yeah,
so like if you go to like any big city, you'll see the Waymos everywhere.
Yeah, the ones that self-driving cars. Yeah, those
like
things
LA,
are crazy.
like
San Francisco,
all
of them,
all the big places.
Yep.
But in Michigan, everything's kind of on a steady incline as far as like development.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of curious if they have those in Houston. I'm sure they probably do. I never saw them when I was out there the last time I was there, but it's crazy that you say that it would be in all the bigger cities. And Houston is a very hugely growing city, so I don't know. I wonder how many they have there if they do.
I would imagine that they would.
We can look it up. But I do know that Waymos only work with Uber, which was kind of annoying because I was trying to get a Waymo. I'm like, I want to ride in a self-driving vehicle, and I kept ordering an Uber. I'm like, order, and then it'd be a normal person. I'm like, cancel.
I want to
Order
robot.
cancel. Order cancel.
No Waymo's available.
I did it like 20 times, and finally, I'm like, yeah, this isn't happening. My kids are like, are we going to ride in a Waymo? I'm like, no,
I
sorry.
wish.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, as far as like AI goes on my side, I think that AI is actually kind of dumb, being real with you, because I think that AI, not dumb in like the perspective of how intelligent it can be. What I think is dumb about it is that we think that it's giving us all these answers that we wouldn't have known about without it. However, all those answers are already there. It's just able to process those answers quicker.
I think it depends on who you are.
Maybe.
I think if you're looking at it from the perspective of how can I make it my life, how can I use it to make my life
That's
better,
different.
and how can we advance civilization,
Right.
then it's very smart.
So I think that when we had this conversation a while back about how AI is useful in people's lives, I think that you're right. I think that you're using it to create yourself as a better, more efficient person. Like, for example, like not having to think about the idea of a grocery list. Like, say that you just wanted to, you say, all right, I want to do this, and this for dinner, but I need the list for groceries. It'll create that grocery list for you, and all you got to do is just go pick it up. That's a great way to use AI. I think it's one of the most basic ways to use AI, but I feel like that's one of the more efficient ways to do it. Now, as far as like the versions of AIs that we have, I guarantee you that we're decades behind at this point. I think that DARPA has probably another 10 or 15 or 20 years advanced than we do at this point.
What's
DARPA? It's the defense. I can't remember the actual acronym for it. If you want to look that up for me, that'd be great. But DARPA is our defense system that we have that creates like, the weaponry that we use in wars that are more advanced and stuff like that. They created AI I think so. It's DARPA. Yeah. The Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. If anybody that doesn't know about DARPA, y'all need to look into it. They actually were the reason that Agent Orange was created.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, yeah, DARPA is both a good company and an evil company all at the same time. So,
well, I'll tell you right now, every company's evil.
Well, they had an episode on the Wi-Files, right?
Yes,
about
they
DARPA.
did. Yes, they did, and that's kind of where I get a lot of my conspiracy stories from. That's where I go first, and then I start digging on my own on a couple things or whatever. But DARPA, they've been so technologically advanced way before, and I think they're creating the first Iron Man at this point right now. I think they have a bodysuit that you can put on that will help you fly. It'll help you shoot weapons and things like that. It's not as advanced as we want it to be, but it's there. You know what I mean? They're on the verge of creating Iron Man. I think that we'll have a Captain America before we know it. Whenever you collide CRISPR with DARPA and stuff like that,
What about UFOs?
What about them?
What do you think about that?
Oh,
Man.
don't get Zorro started about UFOs.
Listen. All right, I changed my views about UFOs all the time. You never know, man. Like, I mean, here's the biggest thing. Like, there's this one podcast, and I wish I could quote him, and I wish I could say his name. I don't remember what it was, but he was on Joe Rogan one time, and he was talking about how he doesn't think that if there is UFOs out there, all right, and he doesn't think that they're in they wouldn't be from a different solar system. Because if you think about how far advanced we are, right, and we've been sitting back and we've been talking about how we're going to get to this point in the universe. We sent out what's the first satellite that we sent out a long ass time ago? Sputnik, yeah, or whatever. I think that you're right. It's the Sputnik one. We sent that out like 76 years ago or something like that, right? You know how much of the galaxy is explored? It's not even like a millionth of it at this point.
It just left our solar system.
Barely. Yeah,
a couple years ago.
And so just the idea that I know that we're not, if you want to talk about how UFOs are so far in advance and this and that and whatnot, yeah, you would think about a UFO that could like break the space barrier and can travel basically, opening up a portal and then go into another universe or whatever, right? But that's the only way that it could possibly happen.
Well, that's what you think, but there's definitely undiscovered technology that we have not discovered.
Absolutely.
Obviously.
And so I don't think, my recent thoughts as far as UFOs goes is I don't think it's something from another galaxy. I think it's us. Being real with you. I think that technology is so far in advance through DARPA and through other things like that they test things all the time and we don't know about it. And if that's what it is, then how are we supposed to tell the difference between a UFO aircraft and an airplane a UFO aircraft and something that they have when we don't even know what they have? You know what I mean? So it's the
agree.
secrecy side of everything that stops us from understanding
But
what's really happening.
look at how big the universe is, and we don't even know where it ends.
Yeah.
And you have got to be you have to be realistic that there's another planet that's probably 30 times, 50 times, 100 times bigger than us that sustains life somewhere in the universe that is millions, if not billions of years ahead of us in technology. It's
Maybe.
very, very there's trillions of galaxies.
It's funny. I had a high moment the other day, and just for the record, I don't smoke. But I was asking, I was saying to myself, I'm like, we always look at the galaxy, at our universe, and we say we're looking back in time, correct? But we don't even know where the center of the universe is at. Are we looking in one direction, and which direction is backwards? Are we expanding out, or are we expanding to the side? You know what I mean? Like where?
Well, it's just
So if it's in time that we're talking about here, if we're saying that 13 billion years ago that thing was created, that's cool. But what about over here? You know what I mean? Like which way is time actually going? And whenever we actually look into the universe, you know, that's one of my questions that I had when I was just like randomly thinking.
that's a good point, but yeah, that's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? Like we're always measuring time based off of how far something is out of light years, right? But we don't know which way is actually the oldest way. You know, we always look one way. You know, we see all these Andromedas, and we see all these like those stars that are blowing up or whatever. I forget what those nebulas and stuff like that. But we're always looking at the same ones. We never look in a different direction. You know, and maybe we do, and I'm just not looking at it the right way. But
well, we do. It's just in certain areas there's more action because of just how the universe was created. There's going to be more galaxies, especially the ones that we can see and keep track of that are millions of years away. And those are just the ones that we can see. Imagine the ones that we can't see that are, I mean, go look at the Betelgeuse, whatever, the sun. I don't remember off the top of my head how much bigger it is than our sun, but it's like humongous. And you've got to think that there's somewhere that's providing light to a planet that's probably thousands of times bigger than Earth, and they're sustaining life, and who knows what they're capable of. How do you know that they don't have a massive magnet? Because that's how I think the UFOs travel, is through magnets and stuff that we haven't figured out yet. But how do you know they don't have a big magnet that just shoots them across the universe?
I mean, it's possible. I'm not saying that it's not.
So,
you know, I'm always open to every interpretation that I can possibly come across, you know, because I don't know the answer.
Is it scarier that we are alone in the universe, or that we are not alone in the universe?
Yeah, Joe Rogan will tell you that it's more romantic to think that we are the only ones here. But I think that
no way.
I mean, here in this galaxy, at least, you know what I mean? Like in our galaxy, we can't.
Not even in our galaxy.
I don't know, man. Like I said, I don't have the answer. I wish I did.
I mean, well, put it this way: just out of the planets in our solar system, Mars, 2 of them have water in them, and just out of 2,
yeah.
What was there? 12, 11 planets.
Mars
now we
used to
Pluto.
have water on it. Actually.
Which one was a moon? We were talking about that recently.
Yeah, there was so Mars used to be a moon to I'm not going to say that that's exactly what it was, but they're saying that Mars was a moon to a planet that once upon a time existed in our solar system. I think it was called planet Maldek or Mardek or something like that. There was a scientist like years ago that was quote unquote disproven, but who knows if he was really disproven about it. But he used to do the math about how far apart planets are between each other, right? And so when he did the math all the way up until Mars, he said there's supposed to be another planet right after Mars before Jupiter. And whenever you look at the solar system, there is the asteroid field that's right after Mars. And they're saying that that asteroid field used to be a planet. And so what it was supposedly, there's a conspiracy story behind it, and it's just crazy nonsense in my opinion. But I think that what ended up happening was that the planet and Mars collided, and I don't know how Mars would have won that battle because like it's just kind of strange or whatever, right? Because
could be more dense.
Yeah, right. Maybe that's exactly probably what it was, in all honesty. And so they said that the asteroid field, that if a planet were to have exploded, that the only amount that would be left of a planet in our solar system would be about 5%. And that's exactly how much rock there is in that solar system.
I don't believe that, because there's no markings on Mars.
Yeah, there is. There's scars all over it. Are you kidding me?
But
there's two separate parts of Mars. The top part of Mars is younger than the bottom part of Mars, bro.
You have to think though. We're talking about planets colliding. I mean, that's
Yeah.
catastrophic.
It is. You're absolutely right.
You see the stuff that hits the moon that leaves these massive craters. Imagine two planets colliding to each other.
There's lots of
So I
mythologies.
feel like there'd be more
well, yeah,
demolition.
you think about Saturn, and Saturn sits on an axis, on a rear axis, and I think Jupiter reverse is spinning the other way around.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like that could have happened because of that whole thing. You know what I mean?
I think that's a little bit too far fetched. That's
Yeah.
one of the, we're gonna have to put that, in my opinion, in the far fetched bucket.
It's one of those things that you can think about. You know, like it's like, again,
If it's a little bit plausible, I usually give it to you. But
Right.
this one, put it in the far fetched bucket.
All right, that's fine. Like I said, I'm never gonna say that I have the actual answer. All I'm gonna say is that there's always speculation about everything, and then there's always going to be speculation about everything, right? So
Yeah.
it just makes it so much more fun to be able to continue on looking at that information, you know. And you never know, you might come across the truth one day. And but to be real with you, I don't think that we'll ever know the truth about anything. Being real with you, I think that we're given. I think you said it best the other day. We're given what 10, maybe 30% of the truth, and then after that, everything else is just like,
Oh yeah,
you know, thrown into, you know, into a file somewhere that the CIA holds or some shit. You know, you never know.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing that with like the JFK stuff. Like,
Dude,
you know,
we're
nobody will
seeing that
ever.
with the Epstein files.
Yeah,
We're also seeing it with the Charlie Kirk stuff.
dude, we're watching this in
Yep.
live time. Like all the stories that we heard about the JFK thing and MLK and all this stuff like that, it's happening in our lifetime again, you know. And it's kind of messed up that people are just letting it go by. And I'm not saying that. I think it's more aware now, especially because there's more people out there, more influencers that are looking for the truth, you know. And so people are asking more questions, and it makes a big deal.
Well, we're advancing technology as well at a good rate, where everybody in the world has the capability of reporting or recording something
Yeah.
and putting it on the internet. So that's helping us get the truth out as well. I mean, I think that anybody that infringes on the elite, the circle that nobody else will ever be in, that, you know, if they infringe on that elite circle, that they are taken out. I mean, look at MLK, for instance, JFK, Tupac, Biggie. All of them were good idols. They were good people, and they got taken out for whatever reason. I think that they were
It's because
infringing
they
on the
wanted to
rich.
tell the truth. They wanted to tell the truth, and nobody wants to let them. You
Well,
know?
I don't think it was that they were telling the truth. Is that they were bringing people together as a
I think they
one.
have so much influence that they can literally shape culture
Absolutely.
and change culture.
Yeah.
I mean, that was seen with the Charlie Kirk thing when his nonprofit literally helped Trump win the presidency, and he was a giant portion of he played a huge role in that.
I would agree. I mean, I
And-
didn't agree with everything that Charlie Kirk said, but the man was one of those.
He was a very
influencers,
influential person,
very
though, for the young
influential,
people.
and he was telling the truth. You know what I mean? He was making people aware of the things that they thought that they knew. You know, and so
he opened it up for open discussion.
right.
And I think he opened up to the Black community he was putting their problems out there. He was putting it on a plate for them to see why they are failing as a race. Not to be mean like that, but what he said is true. I mean, how many percentage of the Black community don't grow up without a father? And then look at the crime rates. And then he was bringing that all to light to empower. And I feel like it was empowering them and getting them to understand, to do better, I guess.
Right.
I don't want to say too much on podcasts, but and I think that's one of the reasons he got taken out, is because he was empowering somebody, a race that has been beat down over and over and over again. And I feel like they would be a strong race if they could just come to fruition and be a union.
So you think that he was helping them, and he was on their side to be to rise up?
I don't want to
you
say
know?
he was on their side. He wasn't on anybody's side, because if anybody had a problem, he was bringing it to a point. Everybody has problems,
Right. Yeah.
but I think he was bringing their problems specifically,
Right.
and whoever didn't like that got rid of them, is what I think happened from a conspiracy aspect.
I mean, to be honest with you, it doesn't matter what it was that he talked about. In the end, it was all about the idea that people were happy that he died, and that was messed up.
What do you guys think about the fact that he was literally asked about gun violence, and then right when he started answering, he got shot?
I didn't know that part, actually.
Yeah,
I'm not
that
gonna
was
lie
the
to you.
final question.
That was the final question.
That was the final question.
What did he say? Like, do you know?
He didn't
He
say
didn't say
anything.
much.
Oh, he couldn't say very much,
Didn't say
right? Like,
much.
that was the end of it, huh?
I don't think that was the cue to take him out, which there's a conspiracy theory behind how he got taken out too, like what projectile killed him. There's lots of conspiracies on the internet
I
right
mean,
now.
there's always going to be somebody saying something.
But
Right?
I don't think he got killed because of the coincidence of that question being asked. I just think it was a timer of like, hey, we got to get this guy gone before his time's up on this stage because we spent all the time
So
setting this up.
coincidental. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he got shot necessarily answering that question.
That was the last question that he asked.
Yeah.
Do you know how many?
No, no. That was, I don't think that
Oh,
was.
okay.
I'll pause that. I'll play it. Hold on.
Yeah, I was gonna say you might wanna
It might be kind of loud.
just a tad.
Let me share screen.
Hey, hopefully we're gonna have a little bit more disagreement. All right. A few weeks ago, there was a transgender mass shooter, and ever since then, about 3 weeks later, the Trump DOJ said that we should start talking about revoking gun rights for transgender Americans. Now,
First of all, I don't agree with that.
I think you're in support of this decision. Yes, is that fair to say? All right, great. So, do you know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years?
Too many.
It's 5. Okay, now 5 is a lot, right? I'm gonna give you some credit. Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
Yeah, they didn't show it, but that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. That
Wow.
I don't know if that was coincidental, man, in all honesty, but you never know, right?
I just feel like they were waiting for by they I mean whoever set that up, because that was a setup. They were waiting for the right time, the right target, the right movement for him. They don't care about the question.
No.
They were just waiting for him to move in the right
the right
direction.
spot. The right
I don't know. There's a
area.
lot of speculation about other actors in this whole fiasco, where they think that there's other people that were set up, like it was a whole like leftist type of setup.
Like who else was set up?
Like other people were a part of this whole thing where they like kind of cued the shooter about like, hey, this is the question that you're gonna shoot him on.
I could see that. Well, they gave him the transcript and said, hey, take the shot at this point within here and here. I could see that being that would be plausible, but I don't even think he got shot. There are conspiracies that he got shot from the projectile from his microphone, and you can see. I mean, there's some videos on that as well.
It's Sarge, right?
I don't know.
TKS
Yeah.
Athletics.
What's up, Sarge?
What's up, buddy?
Hello,
Looks like we just hopped on too.
welcome. I'm surprised we still have a steady flow of people in here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, it's been nice.
Almost 2 hours.
Again, you guys, we
That's
appreciate
crazy.
y'all. Yeah.
I mean, you said what, an hour? Like, an hour we'll get it done.
Is what he wanted. Yeah. He said 1 hour minimum is what he wanted. Yeah.
Here we are.
Almost 2 hours in.
It's all right.
It's about bedtime for me.
This guy.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like in society today, I feel like everything is just heightened. Everything's super heightened with the whole Charlie Kirk shooting and the Trump assassination and the Epstein files. And it's just like the news cycle is so fast every single day that we don't even have time to reflect on what's happening.
I was gonna say that. Yeah.
That's just,
And-
they keep it a circus on purpose.
Yeah, and it's like it's just so overwhelming, and then the next thing happens.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely overwhelming, like you said, and I think it's because social media just throws it out there. I mean, well, not just social media, but the news and everybody else. They have so many platforms to be able to throw that information out there, and then it just gets overlooked after a little while. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I already saw that. And then
Yeah, it's
there's
one thing after the other.
Yeah, exactly. And then before you know it, you just don't have that time to be able to actually, like you said, reflect. On what happened at that moment.
Well, I think it's a tactic for the divide and conquer. They don't want anybody focusing on one point too long because it's going to create a mob of people that are upset about that. So they just keep your head on a swivel, and that way nobody can focus on one thing. I mean, look at all the stuff going on in the world right now. We got the Chicago, we got the ICE stuff going on, and whatever else. The Charlie Kirk thing just happened last month. They keep you occupied,
Yeah,
because they don't want you to
And
unite.
outraged.
Yeah,
At
another
the same
thing,
time, yeah,
they want to keep you outraged.
I think they want us to all they want to keep us outraged at each other is another big part of it too.
well, divide and
because-
conquer.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and so like I don't know, but I also think that oh man, I lost my train of thought. My bad.
I will say that once America realizes, actually, once the world realizes it's not red versus blue, it's the
Right.
rich versus the poor. And as long as the rich stay rich, the poor will stay poor and everybody will be happy.
I mean, that's a good point because the rich, they're not left or right. They're only for whatever profits them.
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
it's, and they don't make it clear. They put all this bull crap in front of you so nobody will see that. So
So
I
like you said,
agree.
it's amazing how they know we will divide and we know it, yet we still do it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. You know, I think that it's just something that we've been
It's tribalism.
not really we, but like a lot of people have been, you know, programmed to understand that that's just how it is now, you know, and it kind of sucks to feel that way about it.
Well, it's also social media because I mean it's all based on algorithms. Like the things that you see
Right.
typically or the things that you engage with are the kind of things you're going to see. And so when you see the things pop up on your social media, like, man, this
Yep.
world is freaking crazy. There's assassination here, people getting robbed here, somebody got raped here. Like you see all these things, and then you're like, this is a crazy world. But then you like talk to somebody else, and they're like, I don't see any of that
Yeah,
stuff.
and that's kind
And-
of the same thing with me and my wife. It's the same idea because if you look at my Instagram versus her Instagram, it's like mine is nothing but full of like
UFOs and
you know,
aliens,
that's my Facebook.
Do pigs fly?
pyramids.
But then you look at hers and it's just like, okay, well, you saw this thing that happened in the news and that thing that happened in the news. And it's like, well, what are you really gaining out of that information though? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't like to put myself into those kinds of conversations, not necessarily those kinds of conversations, but like looking at those things too often because I don't, if it's not going to help my mental, then, you know, what's the point of actually going through that, you know, stress of that?
I think there's a good balance to be had.
I agree.
I think you need to know what's going on in the world, especially today with how crazy things are, and especially like raising a family
Right.
and like just kind of knowing what's going on in society. But in the same sense, you need to learn to check out because at the end of the day, it's not affecting your life on a very personable level, you know,
Yeah.
but it can affect your life. So you have to be kind of aware of
Yep,
things.
I'm the same way. I'm in the loop, but only because I want to be. I just want to
Right.
see what's going on. I don't really. Some things do affect me more than others, like the Chicago stuff going on right now. It does affect me because you're hurting innocent people and ripping apart families from innocent. So that does affect me because I would be livid if something like that happened to my family. And so it's hard not to let it get to you. At the same time, is to let it just drift away like nothing's happening. Because what if that happens in our state or in our city? You
Right.
know.
You know, and I'm going to go into my little conspiracy side thing here. Like, some people will say that the CIA had a lot to do with this because the CIA has had their hands mixed with a lot of, you know, the assassinations that have happened, JFK, Martin Luther King Jr., you know, and now we're talking about how, and we're talking about the social media, in which case, or just media in general, CIA has their hands in that too. They actually have a file that was released and they call it Project Mockingbird, right? So Mockingbird was a project that was brought up to show or it was a plan that basically infiltrated the media system to be able to show the things that they wanted to show, in which case that's how you manipulate the people, right?
That's what we were talking about earlier when the government went to Hollywood and they're like, look, we need people to enlist in the military.
Right.
And so then they started making movies based on military stories and to make it glamorizing for people to want to go sign up for. And it's been proven.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that just happens, you know.
It's the same thing. How, again, I'll go back to GM all the time because I've been there for so long. You go back to GM, and when I went down to Tennessee, my first week there was no work. You go to the Union Hall, and then they buddy you up with, hey, we got pizza after work. You know, we got pizza for lunch, and you're in this classroom all day having fun. And then after that week is over, you get sent right to the trenches, and it's like, good luck.
Right.
You know, by the way, we're working Saturday. You're like, oh, I gotta finish moving in. I just moved down to the state. Like, yeah, you're doing Saturday, 8 hours. So
Yeah.
it's the same concept.
Yeah, I feel I don't know. The CIA has their hands in so many different things.
I agree. I mean, there's this one thing that a lot of people don't really know about that they released files back in 2007. It's called the Family Jewels. Well, they call it the Family Jewels. It was 693 pages of true documents that they released, and it was they basically put out the information about what happened. Well, there was stuff about MLK in there. There was stuff about JFK in there. There was stuff about MK Ultra. There was stuff about all kinds of random like
Nixon.
Yeah, Nixon. Yeah, all that, man. The Watergate files and all that good stuff was all in there. And nobody knows about these little details. You know, like people think that.
Well, that's for a reason.
Yeah, I know. They don't want anybody to actually know that that information is actually out there. But if you go and you actually do the research, all this information is out there. People.
Yeah, I mean, I just simply Googled it, but if you go to CIA.gov reading room, and you just type in like the
file that you're hearing about,
yeah, it'll pop up. That's crazy. I'm gonna read that later.
Yeah, man, it's a good one. Like that's one of the ones. That one actually is also a big one for like the media. I think that their biggest thing was whenever they were involved with the media, they were talking about how they have people that work for the CIA in these like actual like news corporations and stuff like that. And if you go and you the information that they put out, every one of these media centers are putting out the exact same information. And that when you see that, that's because that's something that they decided to go ahead and say, hey, we need you to put this out there real quick.
Well, yeah, if people do their research and see who actually owns worldwide all the media in all the world is controlled by what, like five companies, five companies, and it just stems down, it trickles down. You know, it's the same thing they've been doing for years, but now we're more aware of it. They're just trying to control the narrative to keep us, again, divide and conquer.
It's very true.
So that's all that is.
32 years, buddy.
You know, it was a big thing with Charlie Kirk is that, you know, even though he was that person, you know, like that was out there, that people thought that he was out there causing problems or whatever, the man was a very religious person. I don't think that religions are out there to, you know, put out problems or anything like that.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I think that there
cults.
are certain religions that want to manipulate people as well, you know, but I don't think that he was one of them. This guy.
Sarge has been a GM for 32 years.
32 years.
That's it.
It's time to retire, homie.
Yeah, you're taking my spot. Get out of there. You're taking my spot.
He's in Ohio.
Yeah,
so
he's in
you're
Ohio.
good. Don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think that religion is another one. You're right. It is one that tends to influence people, and that there are certain things that are out there that make people want to steer a certain way because that religion is looking in a certain way. You know.
Speaking of religion, there's a crazy topic that I wanted to bring up on the podcast, and I completely forgot about it. It's his third plant. Anyways, have you guys paid attention to any of the Dearborn stuff going on in Dearborn
Here in Michigan?
Yeah.
No, what's going on?
So one of the things that's happening is obviously they have one of the biggest Muslim populations in the United States.
Yeah, I knew that part.
But they are playing a call to prayer at 5 o'clock in the morning and multiple times throughout the day. And so this priest or pastor, whatever, went to a city council meeting, and they're talking about that. They're talking about how they named a road after this Muslim person who actively calls for violence frequently. And the mayor says, in fact, you know what? I'm going to play it. I'm gonna find it. Hold on. Hold that thought. If you want to continue.
Well, I don't really know where to pick up from that, man. This guy.
Hold on. I need to find it just because I feel like it's very important to bring it up. Since I've mentioned it.
Mayor Hammond.
This is delicious on a side note.
Yeah, by the way,
so
yeah.
sweet.
Shout out to
American honey.
American honey, for sure.
Yeah, they can feel free to sponsor my podcast anytime. So this is the Patrick Bet David show. They're talking about it. Which is an amazing podcast, by the way. Yes,
right.
You guys should listen to it. They do a couple episodes every week. Let me share my screen. Share screen. The whiskey's starting to kick in.
I was just about to
Everything's
say,
looking blurry.
because you've been smooth until then.
All right, here we go.
Bro,
Here in Dearborn.
you're not welcome here. Go ahead, Rob. I mean, Hezbollah, bombed the embassy in Beirut, and including many Americans. So I just feel it's quite inappropriate.
You're an Islamophobe. And although you live here, I want you to know as mayor, you are not welcome here.
Wow.
And the day you move out of the city will be the day that I launch a parade celebrating the fact that you moved out of the city.
Amazing.
Because you are not somebody who believes in coexistence.
Wow.
That's how bold they're getting.
It has begun.
Get bolder
it has begun.
and bolder.
So yeah, that's crazy that the mayor would say that, right?
Yeah, why would he do that? Like, I mean, you're talking to the people that you are governing at this point. Like, what's happening?
Well, you're a constituent, like you're working for the people that are there.
Yeah, exactly.
And to say that you're not welcome in the city,
That's just going to cause.
That's going to cause
problems.
mayhem, man. Like, seriously.
You don't say that type of stuff.
it's crazy. Sarge said, "I've never been offered American honey while in studio." I think you've mentioned that before, Sarge, and we definitely need to do kind of like an off the cuff podcast again with just some honey or some American honey, some whiskey.
Yeah, this casual conversation is always fun.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. Do you guys have anything else you guys want to talk about?
We covered a lot.
We really
feel
did.
like.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm set, but there's another topic. Well, we're coming up on 2 hours.
Let me open it up for the people that are listening. Do you guys have any topics that you would like us to kind of talk about, or even like kind of give our idea, like our thoughts on?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Oh my gosh, Bad Bunny,
Please
Bad
don't
Bunny.
do that. This guy.
I love that Bad Bunny is basically just taunting Trump and all that, saying that it doesn't bother him.
I don't know anything.
I don't know anything about that.
Well, I'll just give you the rundown. I don't know much about it either, but the basic rundown is Bad Bunny is going to be performing at the Super Bowl, and he doesn't speak. I don't know if he speaks English, but all of his songs are in Spanish. Most of his songs are in Spanish, so he's going to be performing at a Super Bowl in America and performing Spanish songs. And so there's a whole thing about ICE and doing this thing.
Oh my gosh.
Anything. It's just so. Anyways, Trump is. I don't want to say Trump. And for the record, I'm not for Trump and I'm not against Trump. He's in the middle. Anyways, Trump is trying to get him to resign from the Super Bowl performance.
He's trying to get him to resign from it.
You'll have to do your research.
That they would do that though.
Here's an article. I think it's absolutely ridiculous, said President Donald Trump on Newsmax. Greg Kelly's reports on Monday, reacting to the news that Puerto Rican star Bad Bunny would headline the 2026 Super Bowl iconic halftime show. I've never heard of him, Trump added. I don't know him.
He does look like a goofball, though. I mean, he doesn't look.
Listen,
he's a goofball.
Listen, he did a great job on Happy Gilmore too. Okay, like he was good. Which, by the way, was an all-time hit in my opinion. That was
a great movie.
Yeah, for sure. Did you watch it?
I did.
Yeah.
My kid, my son, is obsessed with it. I think he's probably watched it 30 times. We were down in Texas, and he watched it every single day.
Wow.
I'm like, we're sitting in the Airbnb, and he's like, play, and I'm like, dude, come on, let's go get in the pool.
There's new things that you can watch every single time you watch it.
So renowned for his obsession with ratings, the U.S. president has presumably since been informed that the global superstar holds significant streaming records. Bad Bunny's, how do you say that?
Un Verano Sin Ti. It's a song.
Is Spotify's most streamed album of all time. He was the most played artist on Spotify for 3 consecutive years from 2020 to 2022. And this September, his residency finale, Una Mas, became the most watched single artist performance on Amazon Music to date.
See, I didn't know he was that big because I never even heard of him.
He's huge.
So is he big within like the Hispanic community?
Yeah, I would say so. Absolutely. I mean, I don't listen to him personally, and not that much at least. I don't understand a goddamn thing that boy says, but you know.
What'd you say?
I said I don't understand half the shit that boy says.
No, what'd you say, Justin?
You could see where he was born if you scroll down a little bit more. Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico, yeah.
Which that's another thing, a lot of people are saying, "Wow, he's not American," but he's born in America.
Yeah, I was about to say, isn't Puerto Rico part of America?
That's the thing. That's what's funny. Crazy. And then there's a list. There's also a list about going on all the non-American people that performed at the Super Bowl. So they're hating on Bad Bunny for not being American.
Okay, all right. So Sarge said, so he's talking about Sway Boy. This is what he said. Here's my question. Besides him saying I've never heard of him, where did he try to have him canceled? Personally, I don't care at all who does halftime shows. I'm watching the game.
Where did he try to have him canceled?
What happened to where Trump said he should be canceled?
I should retract my statement a little bit, but it was more so that they're taunting him with ICE and saying they're going to patrol the Super Bowl with ICE and this and that, trying to scare him away. Is more of a taunting factor of, hey, don't show up here because we know you're following and we're going to take them with us.
So do you think that it's kind of another of like the Chicago Marathon situation where people are 100%. Saying like that it's possible that it could happen type of thing?
Do you think it's they're doing this out of for a political reason?
Dude, there's got to be.
Do you think they're saying like it's? Do you think it's the other side saying like, oh, yeah, ICE is going to be there?
Maybe.
I think that. Maybe. I mean, well, you got to think of all the performers in the world, and we're gonna have at this time and day, and this time in our world, and everything going on, and they're gonna have him of all people. I definitely think they threw that in there on purpose.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Just to ruffle everybody's feathers, because then you're gonna have the people that don't care getting yelled at by the people that do care, and they're like, I don't care, dude. What? I don't care about this, and it just creates friction.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially when you have like a large conservative movement in the United States right now, you have the elite people who don't want conservatives, and so then they push the other side.
It's how can we create more chaos in the world that's already chaotic enough?
Right, it just causes more divide.
Exactly. I think that they literally plan this stuff out months and months in ahead and say, hey, by the way, the Charlie Kirk thing was bought out months in ahead. Like that was planned months in ahead. So it kind of gives them time to think about, hey, how can we get rid of them? Same thing with the Super Bowl. Playing them. It's a yearly thing. Who can we bring in there? Who's going to create chaos? And it's an ongoing battle. There's always something that's happening in the world that has to be portrayed on media. MSNBC, CBS is just thrown out there.
It also probably helps with views too, though.
Yeah.
Like when people know about all the controversy going on, they're like, I'm going to tune into that.
Right.
Yeah, but I've never even heard of Bad Bunny until the Super Bowl. So
that's
I don't even care.
But that's the thing. Would you have heard about him if Trump didn't make a big deal about it?
I mean, when he performed.
Yeah, because you wouldn't have ever even paid attention to him before that point.
But this is the thing. Like, would you be more apt
known so that way his performance is probably better? Is that what you're trying to say?
It could be like he might get more views. Yeah. Or there just might be more views for the Super Bowl overall.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't.
That's the big one right there.
I don't speak Spanish, so I can't relate to it. A lot of people at work speak Spanish to me, and I don't understand what they're saying. But I don't speak Spanish anyway, so I'm not even going to watch the Super Bowl, to be honest. Like, let me retract my statement yet again.
Watch the Super Bowl halftime show. Yeah,
I don't really care about this halftime shows, anyways.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're gonna watch the Super Bowl though, right?
I like the commercials.
The commercials,
I will. I'll watch it.
Downhill a little bit.
Yeah,
but they used to be really good.
Well, now that we got to think, now that AI is taking over, these commercials are going to be created at a fraction of the price. So you're going to see like some stupid shit this year.
Do you know who has the best vehicle commercials? Dodge.
GM.
Dodge.
Yes.
Oh,
Dodge.
Okay, yeah.
Dude, GM needs to get on board. These Dodge commercials are like hilarious.
Listen, as much as I hate GM, if anybody drives a Traverse out there that's listening to this, we appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
Anything else? Anybody else have anything you want us to talk about real quick before we wrap this up? We're literally 2 hours into this podcast, which is insane. And we've had a steady audience.
Time flies.
Added another one
when you're having fun. Yeah, that was steady.
You guys want to make this like a common thing?
I'm not opposed to it.
Once a month,
as long as my wife is okay with it.
Yeah, I was gonna say once a month we could do a podcast, maybe, and have a random fourth.
Yeah,
and to bring a little mix to the thing. So yeah, I would definitely be for that.
That'd be fun. This was a good conversation.
I agree.
Overall,
it was fun.
And I think well. Yeah, I think a lot of insights.
Yeah, we all have different ethnicities, different backgrounds. So and we mesh well. We all can talk.
Yeah, so. People that are listening, if you guys want to see us do this again, just let us know, please. And we'll probably still do it anyways. But
yeah,
it's good to hear from the people, right?
We had a steady flow of people for 2 hours.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool. All right, guys. Well, everybody, thanks for listening to the podcast or watching the podcast. And if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do so. It's free to do. it's so hard to get people to subscribe to the YouTube channel, but it's free and it just gives you an update on when I release new episodes, and it shows that you support the podcast. A lot of work and effort and time goes into it, so I would greatly appreciate it. Take care, Sarge. August.
There's Augie.
Oh, look at Augie. What up, buddy?
All right. Well, again, thanks everybody for listening, and till next time. Thanks, guys, for doing the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
Adios.
See you.